saw the home nation take on Australia, USA and Italy. Great Britain led the meeting from the start. Italy had their moments, but it was USA, led by Greg Hancock, who put pressure on Australia in the latter stages. Britain placed their top-riding duo of Woffington and Harris in heats 17 and 18 to pull off the win, much to the delight of the home fans. So Great Britain winners on the night by 7 points ahead of the USA and a struggling Australia. Great Britain through to the World Cup final, where they meet the host nation Poland, Australia and the USA go to the race-off. Event 2, Vastavik in Sweden, where the home nation faced Denmark, Latvia and the Czech Republic. Poor opening couple of races for Sweden put them on the back foot as Denmark seized the opportunity to take the early lead. Czech Republic also scored good early points, but the Latvians, who reached the race-off in 2013, struggled. A fight back by Sweden saw them come within a couple of points of Denmark, but the Danes, under the leadership of Hans Andersen, always seem to have the meeting under control. Denmark win on the night by 5 points over Sweden, with the Czech Republic third. Sweden and the Czech Republic then go to the race-off and compete for the final place in the final. Denmark joined Great Britain and Poland in the final, much to the delight of the team captain. So the World Cup moved to Bydgoszcz, Poland for the race-off. Saw the USA take on Czech Republic, Australia and Sweden for the winner-takes-all match and the final position in tonight's final. On the night, it was a battle between Australia and Sweden as the two teams went head-to-head, trading wins and points. USA were led by Captain Fantastic Greg Hancock, personally scored an incredible 21 points on the night, but even that wasn't good enough for the USA. Czech Republic, led by Alice Drimmel, showed signs the future is bright as his young team put in a good display. The result eventually swung Australians' way after the Swedes were excluded after a move by Kim Nielsen was deemed by the referee as unsafe. Momentum lost for Sweden, and Australia were to run out eventual winners by 11 points, and they'll face Great Britain, Denmark and home nation and current world champions Poland in what promises to be a terrific final. Just to confirm, Poland, Great Britain, Denmark and Australia in the World Cup final.
Yeah, we're really happy with that one. You know, Sweden pushed so hard all the way through, and they might have been a little bit unlucky with the exclusion, but you know, we'll win on a race too and dug his bike stop, so maybe it evened out. But America again, Greg, what can you say about him? He's a freak. Ridiculous, but yeah, proud of the boys. Everyone did their job, and you know, we had some tough races, but we fought back and made the most of it.
Hi there, good evening and a warm welcome. It is a warm welcome. It's stifling hot here in Bydgoszcz and what promises to be a fantastic night of Speedway. It's been a great week as well. We hope you've enjoyed our coverage throughout the course of the week, and for the first time we welcome Poland into the World Cup because they are the host nation. Denmark will wear the red helmet colours, Australia blue, Poland white, Great Britain in yellow. That's the way it works. And looking down the lineup, I speak to Kelvin Tatum, my co-commentator tonight, who won the World Cup with the England team in 1989 as captain of the England Speedway team, former world long track champion as well. Kelvin, we are buzzing about the prospect of this meeting.
Indeed we are. It's a fabulous night. It's very hot. Conditions will be different from earlier in the week without question, and it's one of those situations where you've got to say that the Poles coming in, they will be under a lot of pressure. They are a proud nation, a very proud nation, and they have a fantastic record in the World Cup. Last 10 years it's been dominated by Poland and Denmark, but it's not always easy just standing around all week and then with the big pressure of the final producing the goods. One or two, I would say, suspect or certainly controversial picks for teams. We'll get into that very shortly, but Jarek Hampel coming out here for the home nation will be very keen indeed to get off to a winning start.
Grand Prix riders galore, and quite a story for Great Britain because of a couple of unlikely lads. If you go back to the start of the season, Simon Stead and Danny King, probably a million miles away from squad selection. Alan Rossiter was linked with perhaps throwing in younger riders for the World Cup, but last Saturday at Kings Lynn, 7 days ago, Stead and King did him proud. Here we go, first race of the night. We hope you can stay with us over the next 2.5 hours. It's the Monster Energy FIM Speedway World Cup final. Here we go. Hang on to the edge of your seats. This is going to be something special, folks. 20 heats of fantastic speedway. Jarek Hampel off the inside in white for the host nation Poland. Chris Holden for Australia off 2. Niels Christian Iversen off 3 for Denmark. And Simon Stead of Great Britain off the outside, and what a story it is for Simon Stead to be in the World Cup final, the biggest night of his career. Last Saturday at Kings Lynn, a fantastic night for Great Britain, but what a meeting this promises to be. Heat number 1. What a fantastic evening, Kelvin.
And what a lineup for heat number 1. When you look at the quality across the start there, it really is quite exceptional. Garrett Campbell in the box seat for the home team on the inside. Stead on the outside, can he do something here?
Jim Lawrence is our referee, and away from the start, Hampel's made a good one. Stead's missed it, and down goes
Everson.
Garrick, the man in red, Niels Christian Everson. Hampel have made a good start there for the Polish side.
Track's grippy.
Yep.
They've ripped the track up extensively earlier today. It's been red hot. They've been pouring waters, thousands of gallons onto the track. And Everson just got caught out here. It's a little greasy. Didn't get there. Just has a half a nudge off the front tyre there with the dirt deflector. Interesting decision here for the referee. I would have thought it would be all fall back. He may have just got a nudge there. Simon Stead does well, in actual fact, to stay on and avoid the falling Niels Christian Everson. We're hearing it will be all fall back from the referee. We'll have to do it again. Just got the dirt deflector from Holder, clips his front tyre, and that unsettles him. And he'll be hoping for a better start, second time of asking, but Hampel on the inside looked like he had made a really good start.
Well, a tension-filled start to this meeting, and Jim Lawrence, the referee, has put all 4 riders back in.
It's an opportunity here. We'll see it again. It will be the same result, that Niels Christian Everson will slip off the bike. But one or two interesting things. A couple of years ago, we saw a very young Danish team win the World Cup. None of the young Danes are here this evening. We've got a Polish team that is now very experienced on paper. Protasevich is nearly 40 back in the side. Janusz Koleje at 30, who's been out of the international scene for some time. He is in. He's in great form. Be interested to see how it goes when you see Janowski, Dudek, Pavlicki. They've all been left out for this evening's meeting. Mikkel Beck, Jepsen Jensen for the Danes once again have been left out. Hans Andersen, of course, is a rider that's been left out and actually rides here for Bydgoszcz in the Polish league. So Mats Corneliusson coming in. Quite an interesting decision.
Absolutely. The Poles, though, I can tell you, they have spent some great time together over the last few days, whilst everybody else has been worrying about racing speedway bikes. The Poles, of course, have practiced here in Bydgoszcz, but they've been to a spa, they've been swimming, they've really enjoyed a spa session and spent some great time together. They went paintballing as well, the Polish boys, so they really have
team
had a
bonding.
good squad. Yeah, team bonding, very much so, and that can only do them a world of good. There's a lot of talk, of course, that you'd rather be on the bike before the World Cup final, but these boys are world-class riders, so there's no excuse, really.
Yeah, I hear what you're saying, Nige, but I prefer personally to have been racing this week. I think that you've had a few days off and they are busy, but coming into this meeting, we often see teams coming through the race-off can benefit from that. And it'll be interesting to see how sharp the Australians are this evening. There's no question that Chris Holder would have benefited from the race-off, because he's just coming back after that neck and wrist injury and hadn't been racing for 5 weeks, so he should have benefited from that. I cannot tell you how much hotter it is here this evening. Bike setup, track conditions are quite different from the race-off.
The heat then, Kelvin, what impact does that have on a speedway engine?
Less power, you need to change the jetting. You're going to have a smaller jet, less fuel actually being delivered by the carburetor to get the same performance level. And if it cools off later on in the season, you would then have to react to that and maybe just alter that carburation side of it. But without question, when you've got over 30 degrees as it is here tonight, the bike won't feel quite as powerful, but fortunately it won't be just you, it will affect everybody.
Well, looking forward to the action then. I can tell you the representatives of the USA management are still here, including Billy Hamill. Max Rommel, the youngster, the 17-year-old, is still here as well. They're heading back from Poland via Frankfurt tomorrow to fly back to Los Angeles. And I think the Americans can hold their heads high. Of course, Greg Hancock stays back in Europe to continue his Polish and Swedish league duties and his Grand Prix campaign. Tomasz Golub, the Polish legend, is here tonight on Polish television duties as well. Good to see Golub here in Bydgoszcz tonight.
Yeah, I just caught a glimpse of him on television prior to the meeting starting, and yes, very good to see him. Of course, he was a hero here, an absolute legend. I can't remember how many Grand Prix he won here, but he won certainly 7 or 8. He seemed to be unbeatable for a long period of time. You know, there was even a cause, would he be picked for tonight? But his form this year isn't quite as good as it might be, and he's been overlooked once again. But yeah, delighted to see him about. I'm sure he should enjoy the evening.
Well, I spent a bit of time across in Torren yesterday and spoke to a few Torren supporters. Torren about half an hour, 40 minutes down the road from here. And the Torren fans a little bit disappointed in Gollop's form so far this season. And it's something which perhaps has contributed to his non-place in the Speedway World Cup.
Just
Everson's changed bikes here, I think.
He has. He just slipped off there, didn't he? And maybe not quite happy. An opportunity just to jump on the spare bike. He's a rider that knows his equipment inside out. He's been hugely successful in the last couple of seasons. He's a genuine World Championship contender now. And he'll be looking for a really big night. Very fit man now. He'll be keen to get off to a good start.
Hampel off the inside, Holder off 2, Everson off 3, Stead off the outside. Throughout the night, Denmark will be in red, Australia in blue. The team in white will be Poland, and in yellow will be Great Britain. Nicky Pedersen with the hairdryer, trying to stay cool.
Not easy tonight.
Yeah,
not
absolutely.
easy tonight at all, but he's keenly looking on. Nicky, of course, didn't race for Denmark earlier this week, in for the final, as is this man, Niels Christian Everson. Second time of asking.
Yep, here we go. First race of the night. Underway, and Jarek Hampel off the inside for Poland. Now Simon Stead will go wide, but holding second place for the Australian side is Chris Holder. And coming around is Niels Christian Everson in red. Stead to the back right now, but the lead here on the first race of the night is Jarek Hampel and Everson up the inside.
Whoa, brilliant stuff from Niels Christian Everson. Fabulous move from him. Jarek Hampel now responding round the outside. Second time of asking down the back straight. Brilliant move from Hampel to get a bit of Niels Christian Everson. That was proper speedway here in heat number 1. Holder back in third place and Simon Stead tailed off in 4th. Good speedway here.
Jarek Hampel with that lead, and now Everson trying the outside line, but there's no room there, and Holder is third. This is going to be a dream start to the World Cup final for Poland. Jarek Hampel with that lead, but Everson is looking, and he's just considering his options. Which way do I go? But it's very early days here on this track surface, and Hampel has now built up quite some momentum here in the closing stages of heat number 1. He's seen off a great challenge of Niels Christian Everson, and third there in blue is Chris Holder, and trailing at the back Simon Stead.
Yeah, that was a terrific race between the Poles and the Danes, the two teams that have dominated this competition over the last 10 years. Hampel there got taken by surprise initially by the fast Niels Christian Everson, but all credit to him, he was able to respond, got back round the outside and rode brilliantly. It was tough speedway, Holder there in third place, but Jarek Hampel delighting the home crowd.
Hampel, Everson, Holder, Stead. That's the first race of the night, second time of asking, but Hampel kicked on, looked superb, and as we say, Niels Christian Everson there really pushed him hard, but Hampel held his nerve superbly in the white helmet colour.
Yeah, super start, second time of asking. Everson there just pushing Simon Stead very wide with Holder on the inside, but Everson just has got that momentum initially down the back straight on the opening lap, and then this move now just catches Hampel unaware. First race, he just misses that little bit of dirt on the inside, and Everson then gets himself to the front. This was a super move from the Danish rider. Difficult to distinguish actually the two teams there. They're very close in colours and their outfits, but then Hampel responds supremely. Round the outside in the turns 1 and 2, second time of asking, gets himself back to the front. Look at that, that is fantastic, and Hampel leads the team. And actions speak louder than words, they say, and that was very much the case there. Brilliant.
Something tells me the Poles are up for this tonight, and we love being back here at Bydgoszcz, this venue which has hosted 16 Grand Prix events down the years, second only to Prague in the Grand Prix list. Prague has held 18 Grand Prix in the Marketa Stadium. This place, 16 GPs. We're here for the first one of the year, and that was won by Krzysztof Kasperzak. If he has a good night like that tonight, then you do feel that the Poles will take some stopping. They have Janusz Kulodze in this one, the Polish side.
Right, it's an interesting call-up. I'm keen to see how Kulodze goes. He's been in good form in the European leagues. World champion out here as well. And Mads Corneliussen. This is the interesting selection from the Danes.
Ward off the inside then. Mats Corneliusson goes off gate number 2 in red. Ty Woffenden, the reigning world individual champion. Gate 3 in yellow. Janusz Kolodze for Poland going off the outside in the white helmet colour. Now, Woffenden, he's going to have to lead the GB challenge tonight. We see the man in white here for the Polish side is Janusz Kolodze. In blue, Darcy Ward, who has had an up and down campaign in the GP series, but Woffenden, a lot of pressure on his shoulders tonight.
Yeah, he has to lead from the front. He's the world champion. He is the championship leader. He'll be very keen to get a good start here at a gate 3.
So here we go, heat number 2. It's a good start from Darcy Ward, and Woffenden tries the inside switch. That was a very, very intelligent move. He was planning that as soon as he saw it the way the race was shaping up, and charging hard is Kolodze, the Polish rider in the white helmet colour here. Woffenden goes wide, and Kolodze has charged up the inside superbly. The man in red here is Mats Corneliusson, and Darcy Ward at the back, and now coming out of turn 2 down the back straight, wheel to wheel.
Fabulous space in there once again. Kolodze really going for it. Fantastic opening lap. Look at Woffenden back up the inside. Sensational speedway. Mats Corneliusson back in 3rd place with Ward out the back. Unbelievably, Ward trying that outside run. Kolodze back in the World Cup and looking fabulous here in his opening ride. Supreme.
Yeah, well, Janusz Kolodze, we know what a spectacular rider he is. We've seen him have some fantastic Grand Prix performances. He leads the world individual champion Ty Woffenden here, and Mats Corneliusson leading Darcy Ward. This is ominous for their rivals, because Poland have just pulled off 2 rides and 2 wins on home shale here tonight. It's Janusz Kolodze, and what a performance from that rider.
Wow, that was very impressive. He came out of the blocks there. He was so determined in the first corner. He's a slip of a man. There is nothing of him. Hangs off the bike. Haven't seen him ride for some period of time, and by golly was he fired up for his ride. And the battle between him and Woffenden was a sight to behold on the first lap. That was good speedway. Kolodze flying.
Kolodze the winner with Woffenden 2nd, Corneliusson was 3rd. Heat number 2 done and dusted, and this is how it stands. 6 to Poland, 3 to Denmark, 2 for Great Britain, and 1 for Australia. And Australia have already had Holder and Ward out here in the opening 2 heats, and have managed just 1 point between them.
Yeah, Ward there was stuck at the back, and as hard as he tried, he just couldn't land a blow. Hampel had made a much better start to the inside. Initially there, a super first corner from Woffenden. Look at Kolodze. Down the back straight, comes roaring up the inside. Mats Corneliusson just got stuck in traffic there because he was looking for a way through. Great move initially from Woffenden. Quick thinking from the world champion to get to the front. Fantastic here, but Kolodze, that style of his, hanging off the side of the bike, absolutely nailing the throttle. Takes the world champion by surprise here as they start the second lap, up the inside. Ty then has to settle for 2nd place with Kolodze into the front, with Corneliusson 3rd. Ward pushing hard out the back, but he can't land a blow. Yeah, as you rightly say, Nigel, it's ominous for the other 3 teams. The Poles have started very impressively.
Janusz Kolodze
So
with the ice
got the
pack on his
scars of
shoulders.
war there, hasn't he? Across
just a
his
little
chest. Wow, but that was awfully brave riding from him.
Yep, here we go with heat number 3, and they're still a little bit concerned about bike setup coming out here. On the back straight, they're taking a lot of time.
They are indeed, and probably quite rightly, because it was very different conditions that the Australians encountered on Thursday night. Much warmer, more grip out there, just tweaking the clutch adjustment, winding the clutch springs in to make that clutch just bite a bit harder. Batchelor renowned for his starting, and the Aussies need a start. They need 3 points. They've had 2 big guns out in the first 2 rides, and as you said, Nigel, 1 point from 2 rides is not what they were looking for.
So Batchelor has finally decided which bike to go with, and here we go with heat number 3. Batchelor just coming round, 20 seconds of the 2 minutes to go. Peter Killerman off the inside for Denmark in red. Piotr Protasevich back in the World Cup. He goes off gate 2 in white. Troy Batchelor for Australia off 3. Chris Harris, Grand Prix rider like Batchelor, of course, going off the outside in yellow. Harris, who rode superbly at Kings Lynn last Saturday. Mark Lemon, the Australian team manager, watching on, will be a little bit concerned right now. 1 point from 2 rides. Here we go. Can anybody stop the Polish juggernaut? Piotr Protasevich is the man for Poland here, and he's switched up the inside magnificently. And Harris for Great Britain. Chris Harris, and now Batchelor down the back straight. There's no room. And now coming through in red as well, we have Peter Killerman having a go, but the Poles have the lead again. It's Piotr Protasevich
Protasevich. It was all air him, scare him down the back straight on the opening lap, and Troy Batchelor is the loser. Harris was in there, and Peter Kilderman charging into second place. But look at Protasevich go. He's not been in the World Cup squad for some time. He knows what it's like to win this competition, of course. He's been in fabulous form in Poland and in Sweden, and he's flying out in front. Kilderman good in second place. Tailed off in third and fourth is GB and the Aussie team, but Protasevich making his mark in his opening ride.
This is a nightmare start for Australia. Batchelor at the back. It looks like it's going to be 1 point from 3 rides, but Piotr Protasevich is storming to victory here in heat number 3. It was hard work early on, but he's got there ahead of Peter Kilderman. Chris Harris was third, Batchelor at the back, and this Polish side are unstoppable right now. Early on, 9 points out of a possible 9.
Yeah, what an impressive start from the Poles. Haven't raced all week. I thought that might be a handicap. Well, completely wrong, entirely wrong. They've started like a house on fire, 3 races, 3 wins, and how they've achieved it. They have been absolutely ruthless right from the word go. Brilliant ride from Protasevich.
So here's the standings then after 3 heats. No contest at the moment, but a long way to go. Poland 9, Denmark 5, Great Britain 3, and Australia only 1 point. Who would have thought that?
Yeah, very disappointing start for the Australians, and clearly have been caught out by track conditions in the final. Very different from Thursday, of course. Doesn't make a bad start, Batchelor, but just gets shoved wide and cannot land a bit. Watch him go down the straight here, 4 abreast at one stage. Kilderman, what a move that is to get up the inside of Harris, and nobody goes down. Good move in the first corner from Protasevich. He doesn't make the best of starts. Quick thinking, switching to the inside, trusts his bike. Look at that, 3 abreast with Batchelor getting squeezed up against the fence, and that really does his race right there, with Kilderman then really forcing his way into the action. But the Poles have started in fine style, and the other 3 nations are going to have to up their game, because the Poles, whatever they're doing it dead right.
Yes, they are. It's a dream start for Poland here. The host nation here in this magnificent racetrack in Bydgoszcz. This World Cup tournament dominated by Poland and Denmark since Australia since Sweden won it, I should say, in 2004. Australia won it in 2002, but really over the last 10 years it has just been Poland and Denmark that have won the World Cup.
Yeah, they have totally dominated it, and you know, we've seen some wonderful speedway here. You just mentioned this great track, Nigel, and the track itself is a star. We never fail at this particular track. It just generates some wonderful racing.
Here we go with heat 4 then. And off the inside is Jason Doyle for Australia. Nicky Pedersen, gate 2 in red, the first race of the World Cup tournament for Nicky. Danny King goes off gate 3 in yellow. Big moment for that rider, Danny King. And Krzysztof Kasperzak goes off the outside in white, winner of the Grand Prix here in Bydgoszcz in April.
Yeah, and how did he win that? Coming out of the last corner to deny Darcy Ward, it was a spectacular win. When you consider the year before he had failed to score in the Grand Prix here, that was quite a remarkable bounce back. And Kasperzak will be inspired by his previous colleagues, unbeaten the Poles so far.
Here we go, heat number 4. Kasperzak, the man in white for Poland now. Can he make a good start off the outside gate? Doyle's looking good, Pedersen's looking good. Here comes Kasperzak. That is something special. Wonderful ride from Krzysztof Kasperzak in the white helmet colour. Second place in red is Nicky Pedersen. Jason Doyle is third, and Danny King at the back. But my goodness, these Poles are looking like they're going to complete a perfect set of 4 heats to open up the World Cup final.
Yeah, absolutely. Initially, Pedersen made a really good start, but Kasperzak, as easy as you like, just swept round the outside of him in the first corner. Doyle in third place is beginning to put the 3-time world champion under a bit of pressure. It's close, but Kasperzak is riding nicely. Danny King has tailed off out the back. Pedersen now beginning to put Kasperzak under pressure. Kasperzak now beginning to have to ride a bit more defensively. Pedersen's there, Nigel. He's having a really good go. There's under a lap to go. Can he do anything about it?
Well, Kasperzak, though, looking good here, and he's gained some ground there. He's built up some momentum into turns 3 and 4. And Kasperzak is going to take the checkered flag. He punches the air. It's 12 points out of 12 for Poland in the opening 4 heats here in Bydgoszcz. And I know people will say home track advantage, host nation, all the rest of it. But I would really challenge anybody to say, can they be beaten anywhere right now with a team like this?
Yeah, absolutely. They have started in very fine form, and they have now won the World Cup away from Poland. And 4 races and 4 wins for the Poles, very emphatic.
Just to confirm then, it is Poland who have 12 points right now, and then it's Denmark 7, Great Britain 3, and Australia have 2.
Well, Kasperzak there didn't make the start. Nicky Pedersen did that, but we'll see it here. Pedersen in the red helmet colour makes a good getaway out of gate 2, gets the better of Doyle to the first corner, but Kasperzak using that extra momentum around the outside from gate 4 and comfortably gets the better of Pedersen and fires himself to the front. Young Dunny King there just gets tailed off in 4th place, and the Brits have had a hard start to tonight, as has the Australians, which is more of a surprise. Kasperzak and Pedersen battling it out here in the first corner, and Doyle there in 2nd place. Fair play to Pedersen. He keeps battling hard. He never throws the towel in here, which you would never expect from Pedersen. He's a hard charger, and it's close right to the checkered flag, but 4 rides, 4 wins. Delighted to start the meeting in such fine style, and it's very ominous.
Yeah, the Polish boys well and truly up for it. Marek Cieślak, the former rider, of course, in charge of Poland again. And there they are, 12 points out of 12, but they're still having a get together. Jason Harold is our man in the pits tonight, and he is with the Australian team manager, Mark Lemon.
Aussie manager Mark Lemon, perfect start for the Poles. What are you going to do to catch them?
We'll just focus on it, and we'll just regroup here. Yeah, it's not ideal, but you know, the Poles come out fighting strong. But maybe the race-off hasn't quite helped us with the setups. The track's slightly different, but it's no time to panic just yet.
I saw Troy change bikes there. What happened to his first choice machine?
Troy made a really nice start, to be fair, and then he sort of probably, I don't know whether he made the wrong sort of choice to go wide, pick up the grip, but that seemed to there. And then obviously he got sort of a bit block pass coming down the back straight, which is, you know, can happen here. But you know, if the setup was right, he would have just pulled away and would have been plain sailing. But it's just that's Speedway, you know. It's just if you don't quite have the setup, and especially at this level, because it's a step up again.
All right, good luck, Mark. Thank you.
Nice one.
Yeah, disappointing start to this evening's proceedings for the Australians, and I just sense that they were caught out by conditions very different from Thursday, and bike setup key, and they definitely got off to a fly of the Poles, and the Aussies have been struggling. Plenty of chat in the Danish camp. Pedersen there, who pushed hard behind Kasperzak, but none of those lads have managed to beat a pole so far.
Let's hear from the Great Britain manager, Alan Rossiter, with Jason Harold.
GB manager Alan Rossiter, not the start you wanted. How are you going to galvanise the boys here?
They're all right. It's early days. We knew the Poles are going to be really strong on their home turf. We've just got a few setup changes, but it's early days yet. We're not panicking yet.
Nice move by Ty to cut back, but he was caught by Kolodje.
Yeah, that's right. Like I said, they look very quick, but making a few changes now, and hopefully we'll be on the pace.
Boys feeling okay though? So a couple of them looked like they had their heads down.
No, definitely not. No, you must have been looking at the wrong team.
All right, cheers, Roland.
Thank you.
Yeah, well, a tough start for Team GB. They are the outsiders. Plenty of chat going in, and concern for the Australians as well. That's a desperately disappointing start for the first 4 heats from the Aussies. A lot of people fancied them for a win here tonight, and they're going to have to turn it around in big style if they're going to make a real fist of it. Of course, they could play a joker if they wanted to. They're that far behind the Poles.
Yeah, because the joker could actually come into effect here. And it would need a winning ride as a joker for a Danish rider at the moment to get it close, really, and for Poland to be slipping back to 3rd or 4th. So
none of the team managers would have wanted to be thinking about jokers after the first 4 heats, Nigel, and such has been the superiority of the Polish team. Yeah, you've got to say that unexpected. But you can't believe they're going to go through the card. But Protasevic's coming up here for his second ride. You know, how professional was he in his opening ride? Absolutely dominant.
Yeah, I think he's buzzing about being back in the Polish side, because we remember last year, like you mentioned, Dudek, Janowski. They have, of course, the Pawlicki boys, who are sensational talents on a speedway bike. And yet these boys are here, Pepe Protasevich and Janusz Kolodze, probably just absolutely buzzing about being back in the World Cup.
Yeah, they're very proud and delighted to be back in the side.
And the second, the Danish manager, is with Jason.
And the Seka, what's he going to take to catch this Polish team now?
I think a good thing will be to go on gate 4, and we got 2 gate 4 in the next 4 heats. So, and I think that's why Poland just have a small advantage now.
What will the guys be doing to change the setups on their bike?
We're talking about perhaps going one down in the sprocket because it's spinning a little bit.
And no lasting damage to Niels, hopefully after that first heat spill?
No, he's ready. He's in.
Okay, Anders, thank you.
You're welcome.
Yeah, may have just got caught out by the gearing. When they talk about one sprocket down, it's just to take one tooth off, getting a little bit too much wheel spin. The Poles certainly got their gearing right because they cleared off out in front. Riders will get better, and there's no question that the Australians will tweak things and become much more competitive. It always does help. It's a nervy night. Riders will have been racked with nerves. Certainly, I'm sure the Great Britain side would have been feeling it. A lot of their riders not accustomed, or 50% of their riders are not accustomed to riding at this level. And young Danny King here coming out for his second ride. Not fast enough in his first one. He'll be certainly looking at his bike setup.
So Poland have 12, Denmark have 7, Great Britain 3 and Australia 2. It is a surprise the way the Australians have performed in the opening 4 heats, with the 2012 world champion Chris Holder, Darcy Ward, one of the top 3 riders in the world right now, Troy Batchelor, who scored 20 points out of 21 in the Grand Prix in Copenhagen in June. It's a major surprise that, but the Poles, I'm sure they didn't expect to come out and score the points they have done already. 12 points out of a possible 12. That needs to stop to really make this competitive, Kel.
Oh, absolutely, and when you've got Class of Ward, who didn't score in his opening ride, that was unexpected. He all but won the Grand Prix here in April. He was second on the night with Kasper Zak just stealing it away from him coming out of the last race. So heat 5, Ward will be looking to improve, as will Danny King, who just got tailed off in his opening ride. But Protasevich in the box seat on the inside, you've got to say the Poles were outstanding. They absolutely burst out of the traps and dominated in those first 4 races. Cheeslake, how successful, Marek Cheeslake, how successful is he in this competition? Incredible, supreme effort for so far from Poland.
So, perfect 12 for Poland. Can they be stopped? Heat 5 is on the way. Here we go with heat number 5 then. Pepe Protasevich going off the inside in white for Poland. Danny King, gate 2 in yellow for Great Britain. Darcy Ward, gate 3 in blue for Australia. Niels Christian Iversen for Denmark off the outside in red. Interesting. Anders Secker pointing to the fact that gate 4 is good, and he's hoping that Iversen can come good from gate number 4 here for Denmark.
Yeah, he'll be keeping his fingers crossed. Might just give you that extra option. If you don't make it, you can switch to the inside, and if you do, you can then just block them coming off the first corner. If you don't get there, you might decide to do the big blast around the outside, and we know Iversen's more than capable of doing that. He's got to stop that man, number 1 on his back, and they're looking like they're going to retain their number 1 status as world champions at this early stage. But Protasevich really looking good in his opening one. Big race here though, this is a terrific lineup again.
It certainly is. Heat number 5. Green light on. Can the Poles be stopped here? Protasevich off the inside gate, now Iversen around the outside. Super stuff, and Danny King on the inside for Great Britain. Oh, he has to lock up there, and he's got to the back. But the lead here is with Niels Christian Iversen. Pepe Protasevich in white. Now for Australia, Darcy Ward in blue. Going to have a real go here for Team Australia. Danny King in the back. That's unfortunate because he was on the pace early on there. Still having a go as well. And Protasevich isn't done yet. Really hunting down Iversen, and King up the inside of Ward.
Absolutely fantastic. Niels Christian Iversen round the outside in the first corner. Protasevich responding, he's charging hard in second place. King is much more competitive this time. A few tweaks to the bike, and Ward is again not really getting amongst the big points of the Australians, but Protasevich once again the bike putting his arms off in the middle of the corner. Iversen out in front.
Yeah, looking good here. Niels Christian Iversen down the back straight, and Protasevich still kicking on and having a go. And King at the back as well, trying to put pressure on Ward. But the lead here is with Iversen, and Poland have been beaten for the first time tonight. It goes to Niels Christian Iversen, and the Secker said he wanted to take advantage of gate 4. So it proved to be. Super ride from Niels Christian Iversen. And in third place there was Darcy Ward for Australia. Danny King at the back, although it was a great effort from King. He was on the pace early on. but it's now 10 points to Denmark and 14 to Poland. So, good effort from Niels Christian Iversen, but we're not surprised to see that. Heat 5, just to confirm, Iversen, Protasevich, Ward and King, the finishing order there. And it means now after 5 heats, 14 to Poland, 10 to Denmark, 3 each for Great Britain and Australia.
Well, the big surprise is the poor start to tonight for Australia. No surprise to see Poland and Denmark going at it, and it's a 2-horse race at this early stage. Iversen there showing his class. That's the reason why he's a Grand Prix winner and the world number 3. Danny King drops the clutch and he's away. He was much more competitive this time, but just couldn't quite get amongst the points. Protasevich makes a good start from the inside, but Iversen and his seconds talked about having gate 4, and he was right. He worked a treat here. All credit to Protasevich. His bike was pulling his arms off in the middle of the corners. On 1 or 2 occasions, he was absolutely roaring behind Niels Christian Iversen. Iversen will be delighted, and the Danish camp will be pleased to have got their first win on the board. They're only 4 points behind, so not too bad. Disappointment for Ward. Ward is better than this. He's trying awfully hard, but he just could not land a blow. And Iversen showing his class as a super right.
Certainly was, but as I said, we're not surprised by what Iversen has done there, because
not at all.
He's a world-class rider, and I do feel he's got a world title in him. There's a joker coming out here for Australia. Chris Holder will go for double points here in the blue helmet colour. So Australia playing their joker early, just trying to get themselves back onto the coattails of Denmark and Australia right now.
And they've got gate 4. Gate 4's been very productive so far, so Mark Lemon has given the opportunity for his team captain Chris Holder to do the business and really give them some sort of momentum. But a disappointing start, and this is an opportunity to try and force their way into the meeting. Mats Corneliusson, he goes from the inside, and he's going to be up against Kasperzak, who again was very impressive in his opening ride.
I do feel though that whenever you play the joker, you're going to be up against a tall order with a Polish rider, because they're all on song tonight. It's Mats Corneliusson for Denmark off the inside, Krzysztof Kasperzak for Poland off 2, Chris Harris of Great Britain off gate 3 in yellow, and Chris Holder going for double points off the outside in blue. And as things stand at the moment, there's a battle for a medal place between Great Britain and Australia.
Yeah, and when you look at how many points they've scored, it's not what you would have expected at all. As I said earlier, many people were predicting the Australians to win here this evening, and it's not proved to be the case so far. Good Chris Holder turned their fortunes around. And a lot of pressure on. Not easy. It's a much tougher meeting. This is a top quality speedway meeting. The World Cup final always is. We always see some extra special action. Mats Corneliusson on the inside. Can he now pick up where Niels Christian Iversen left off?
Baking hot evening here in Bydgoszcz, Poland. Here we go with heat number 6. And it's a good start from Holder off the outside. Can he sweep across? Corneliusson with an early lead, and up the inside comes Kasperzak. And now Harris battling with Corneliusson for 3rd place for Great Britain now. But the joker's working for Australia. Chris Holder has that lead right now. Harris has come round into 3rd place, battling hard with Mats Corneliusson of Denmark. And Harris has got 3rd spot now. But Australia with Chris Holder, world champion a couple of years ago, looking good for 6 points.
Yeah, he is, but with the Danish rider out the back and Kasperzak in 2nd place, they won't be too concerned about that, with them being that far back. Kasperzak hanging on in 2nd place. Corneliusson back in 4th place, out of the points. Not good news for Denmark. It's really kind of okay for Poland. Got to say, with a lap to go, Holder showing terrific form out in front. That'll be a big boost for the Aussies, but the Poles, really, it's worked out here for them.
Chris Holder has got lots of speed here now. Really looking smooth and comfortable for Team Australia. Chris Holder 6 points on the joker. 2nd place was Krzysztof Kasperzak, but that's absolutely fine for Poland because Corneliusson finished last there. So it puts Australia onto 9, and it means that Denmark are on 10 and Poland are on 16. So Poland have gained even more of an advantage there. They are 6 clear of the rest now. Just to confirm confirm the result then. It's Chris Holder with 6 points for Australia. Second place was Krzysztof Kasperzak for Poland. Third place there went to Team GB with Chris Harris. Now the back was Mads Corneliusson, and Poland now with a comfortable advantage over Denmark. Australia 9, and Great Britain have 4.
Yeah, and Denmark can play a joker, and it just worked out for Poland here. Mads Corneliusson, a surprise pick for me, I must say, with Hans Andersen riding well earlier in the week, and he rides at this track. Mads Corneliusson, his first 2 rides, has only scored 1 point, and he'll be bitterly disappointed with that after producing some super speedway earlier this week. This is a terrific response from Chris Holder. That's why he was world champion 2 years ago. He's able to produce big rides when he really needs it under immense pressure, and the Australians will feel an awful lot better about things now with their top man out in front, securing the double points. Good battle between Chris Harris and Mads Corneliusson, but with Kasperzak in second place and the Danes failing to score, they move further ahead in actual fact. So in actual fact they are 6 points up on Denmark, but Holder delighted to have done that. Back from injury, and he looked very impressive there.
We talk about team selection when it comes to Denmark, and when you talk about Hans Andersen missing out, and you talk about people like Michael Jepsen Jensen, and Jepsen Jensen has come into the GP for a couple of rounds to replace Chris Holder.
Yep.
Couple of semi-finals, and he's not in the World Cup squad. And Mads Corneliusson, or he's not in the team, I should say, and Mads Corneliusson, 1 from 2 right. And the second may have some questions to answer.
He will do. It was a surprise pick for me, and so far it hasn't proved to have worked out for him, and it could be a weak link. Time to redeem himself, of course, but so far it's been a tough night for Mads. Very honest rider, but not quite on the pace so far this evening.
So, heat number 7 it is. Here we go. Across the gate positions then, it's Ty Woffenden of Great Britain going off the inside in yellow, the captain of the British side and the world champion. Jarek Campbell, very impressive winner, first time out off gate 2 in white. Jason Doyle of Australia going off gate 3 in blue, and Peter Killerman going off the outside in red. Now, can Woffenden get a victory under his belt and 3 precious points for Team Great Britain?
Well, he'll be desperate. He didn't have a very good Grand Prix here. He only got 5 points, and not very fond memories of Bydgoszcz in truth, but since that time he's completely transformed this season.
Just a bit.
Yeah, just a touch, and he is now leader of the World Championship. He now needs to come up with one of those supreme performances. Won't be easy with Hempel in the race though.
Certainly won't. Here we go. Heat number 7. Hempel's made an absolute beauty off gate number 2. Woffenden tries the inside line, and coming around the outside in blue here.
Red lights.
The red lights? No, there are no red lights on.
Kilderman's packed up.
Kilderman's packed up, yeah.
Thinks
And
he's
coming
seen
around
one.
the Australian in blue here is Jason Doyle. But I'll tell you what, Peter Killerman thought he saw a red light there, I'm sure. And now Woffenden comes through into second.
Yeah, bizarre. Absolutely bizarre move there by Peter Kilderman. I don't know why. Maybe sun just glinting against the red light. Doyle, though, picking up where Chris Holder left off in the previous race. Super stuff from him. Woffenden responding supremely well, having been out-trapped by Jarek Campbell, who is now relegated to 3rd place. The Australians, this is just what they needed. This is good stuff from him. Got to say, Doyle has really come of age in the World Cups over the last 2 seasons.
Yeah, he's a good rider, Jason Doyle. Down the back straight he goes. Woffenden really winding it on and having a go, and Hampel in 3rd place right now. Bit of confusion there early on though, and it is Jason Doyle with the victory. 2nd place Ty Woffenden, and 3rd in white. Well, that was a good ride for the Australian side with Jason Doyle, 12 points. Well, perhaps Kilderman had problems with his machine there, but
Well, he
perhaps
actually
we'll clarify
lingered.
that.
He lingered
Yeah.
on the track as if he'd seen a red light, and I do believe that don't really understand what happened there. Maybe we'll find out. It was really rather bizarre because it's done us any favours, because Australia now are up into 2nd place out of nowhere. Brilliant start initially from Jarek Campbell. Jason Doyle allowing the bike to run onto the edge of the dirt and absolutely steams down the back straight and gets himself to the front, and then Ty Woffenden, the world champion, comes through into 2nd place to get the better of Jarek Campbell. Well, let's have a look here and see what's going on with Peter Kilderman.
Well, we can't see
He's
there,
out of
can we?
shot there, and he stops. Watch him, red helmet colour, the Danish rider into the 1st corner. Just shuts the throttle off. I don't know whether something doesn't quite work with him, or whether he has a problem with his hand, or Don't know. I'm sure we'll find out. What we do know, Nigel, is that the Australians are back in this meeting.
And we only said, of course, about the red light issue because what happened 7 days ago in Kings Lynn, where 2 riders pulled up, thinking they'd seen a red light, which they had seen a red light. But you know, anyway, it is as follows: blue, yellow, white, red, which is Australia, Great Britain, Poland, Denmark. And all of a sudden, Australia have come through into second place here. Poland 17, Australia 12, Denmark 10, and Great Britain have 6. And this will suit Poland right down to the ground. Their rivals are dropping points left, right and centre.
Not as impressive in the second round of races though, Poland. They haven't done quite as much. And it's certainly a interesting scenario with the outside gate working well and a much improved. I can tell you what, the class of holder there, that was brilliant. Coming out off the outside gate, picking up the 6 points, and then actually the momentum then switching to Doyle, and he picked up that mantle and won in fine style. We've got a little bit of coming and going here with the Australians once again.
Bachelor's changing bikes again.
Yeah, clearly very unhappy with, not unhappy, just confused over bike setup. I would think that Chris Holder must be relaying now the bike setup he used, because he was very impressive in his previous ride. But yeah, the Aussies are going to mean business, and fair play to them. And Kolodze, what an eye-catching rider he is, and he was certainly very impressive in his first one.
Well, I think he's got a really spectacular style. Jonas Kolodze, he's great to watch. He's off the inside here. Simon Stead, gate 2 for Team Great Britain. Nicky Pedersen for Denmark off gate 3 in red. And Troy Batchelor off the outside in blue. And again, Batchelor just unsure quite clearly, testing a bike out and changing it.
Yeah, and that's far from ideal. Anders Secker, they're just starting his program with Mats Corneliusson. Nicky Pedersen out here out of gate 3, but never ideal as a rider when you're swapping bikes before races in such a big event. That means there's confusion, you're not quite confident. Really and truly, all you want to be worried about at this stage of a race is going that green light coming on. The Dane's just a little bit frustrated. Hans Andersen is here. What's going through his mind at this stage?
Probably thinking, I wish I had my Kevlar's on. Lead number 8 it is. And that's a superstar from Nicky Pedersen off gate number 3. He's got the drop as well. Stead tries the inside line and coming through in blue for Australia. Magnificent ride from Troy Batchelor, but Pedersen whited on as well. And Kolodze's third right now. Nicky Pedersen comes around the outside. That's a great move from the 3 times world champion. Batchelor holds second. Kolodze is third right now. And this is a much needed ride from Pedersen for his team Denmark.
Well, all credit to Pedersen there, because it was a super move in the first corner from Batchelor, but Nicky Pedersen wound it on and he looks very quick indeed. That change of gearing that Anders Secker was talking about, I've got to say it's working a treat here. Kolodze coming on strong with Batchelor, nearly running in the back of him. Simon Stead's packed up. Yeah, disappointment for the Brit. But Kolodze in third place with a lap to go. Can he get to second?
Well, it's Nicky Pedersen looking good here. Batchelor holding the midline for second spot right now. This will put Denmark on 13, Poland on 18, Australia on 14, and it's looking a lot more competitive after the second round of races. Heat number 8 is done and dusted, and it's just starting to tighten up a little bit, Kel.
Well, we were thinking it was going to be all over after the first 4 races, weren't we? But how on earth it's turned around. Yeah, have a rethink on that one, because all credit to Australia and Denmark. They've battled awfully hard there. Gate positions have been more fruitful for Denmark and Australia. Bitter disappointment for Simon Stead. I know he was so looking forward to tonight, and it hasn't worked out for him so far, but this was a very strong ride from Nicky Pedersen.
And the overall standings then now after 8 races. Poland have 20. Poland have 18, Australia 14, and Denmark have 13. So it's a little bit closer. Great Britain have 6.
Yeah, that was good stuff from Nicky. He finished second in his opening one. He closed in on Kasperzak, but all credit to the Danes. They've really tweaked their bikes, and gate positions have worked out. Initially, Batchelor there, he gets the better of Pedersen coming off that first corner, but Pedersen then has the special speed down the back straight, gets his back tyre on the edge of the grip, and really enjoyed it out in front. He looked very impressive indeed, and he likes this track. He's got a good record here. Pedersen, of course, 3-time champion, his quality, and he looked very good here, and the Danes are right back in the thick of it, as are the Australians. The Poles now didn't win a race in that last 4 races. So yes, it isn't going to be quite as straightforward as we possibly first thought after the first 4. But Pedersen, pleased as punch with that heat victory. He's got 5 points from 2 heats.
Yeah, Mickey Pedersen has still got the appetite, still got the desire. He loves riding a speedway bike, and he's had a couple of relatively disappointing Grand Prix in the last couple of rounds, but I'm sure when we go to Riga, Latvia for the next round of the Grand Prix series, Nicky will be well and truly up for it.
Yeah, and if he can have a big performance here, Nige, then there's no reason he can't carry that confidence into the next round of the World Championship.
Well, Danny King of Team Great Britain, it's his World Cup final debut. Let's see how he's feeling about it with Jason Harold.
So Danny King, tell us how your World Cup debut is so far.
Tough. I'm not making great starts, and then I'm making a bit of a hash of things on track. My last one I felt a bit quicker, managed to reel Darcy in a little bit, but just not quite happy, so I'm just going to jump on the spare bike and see if that makes a difference.
What's the feeling amongst the boys?
Everyone's heads are down at the minute. I think we're all not getting out the start, so I think we need to make some changes and see if we can get some fresh air.
We're in Joker territory now.
Yeah, obviously we've got to be looking at Ty for that. He's the most experienced and he's flying, so I guess that's what Roscoe's doing now.
Good luck, Danny. Thank you.
Thank you.
Yeah, it is tough at this level, and Danny not having that much experience, you really have got to up your game, because Harris, of course, he knows what it's all about. A little bit of relaxing here for the crowd. It is really baking hot out there.
Well, let's hear from Chris Holder now, who is with Jason.
Well, Chris, you got the first win for the Aussies on the board. You seem to have inspired the rest of the team now.
Yeah, we got off to a slow sort of start, and I think we all had the same sort of setup, and it didn't work from really heat 1. And then the boys went out and did their first race, got the cobwebs out, and they come back strong in that last one, and we had some good races then.
I always say, no matter what the Aussie team is, when your backs are against the wall, that's when you come out fighting. You feel dangerous.
Yeah, you got to dig deep, and we had to use the Joker way too early, and there's a bit of pressure on, but we had the good gate and made it work, and then Doyley did exactly the same, and Troy wasn't far off then either. So just get Darky going and we'll be sweet.
All right, good luck, Chris.
Thanks.
Yeah, it was a classy performance, as it was from that man as well, Nicky Pedersen, back in the team. There were question marks about Pedersen here, whether he would be able to perform at the highest level with a couple of poor Grand Prix by his high standards. And a second there just having a chat with him, Hans Andersen. You've got to feel a little bit for Hans Andersen, because just got the feeling that he captained the team earlier in the week, Nige, and he misses out.
Well, Marek Cieślak is the Polish team manager, and he is with Jason now.
Well, Marek, a fantastic start for the Polish team. You couldn't wish for anything better.
Yeah, it was very good. 12 points from 4 heats is super. Next 4 heats was not so good, but I know reason. So we changed something in our bikes and should be better.
And what do you say to a team when they've come in after 4 straight wins? There's not much you can tell them, I would have thought.
No. I said, because all riders said, we must change because our bike's spinning too much. I said, no, you leave this. But everyone changed, so we have now some points less. But at this moment it's okay, and we have now better gate position, because 1, 2 is not so good at this moment. 3, 4 is better, so we have 3 times 3 and 1, 2, so I hope will be good.
Okay, thank you, Marek.
Thank you.
A lot of talk about the gate positions from the team managers, Kelvin.
Yeah, it has been, and it's been interesting to see how that goes. Quite often the inside gate's very fruitful here, but it's been tough because the swoop round the first corner has been really quite an advantage. Just looking at Poland there, solid, absolutely solid throughout, 18 points. Great comeback from Australia, 7 points with the Joker with Holder, that's great. And good work from Iversen and Pedersen as well, Nige. They really picked up the mantle, didn't they?
Yeah, much more like it. And Killerman on 2 and Corneliussen on 1. And Great Britain have still got the Joker up their sleeve. They're obviously going to try and use Ty Woffington. I would probably think that they will not use it on a programmed ride for Woffington. They'll bring him in as a tactical substitute and use the Joker at the same time, just to make maximum use of that. That seems to be a good tactic, really, when it comes to the World Cup.
Just choosing the gate position when he you does that as well. He's out in the next one. We're filling off gate 4. And then who would you use him for? Would you use him for Danny King in heat 13? But King comes off the inside against Hampel. Not easy. That won't be a straightforward decision. 18.
Danny King is off gate 4 in heat number 11. That might be a good shout.
Very much so. That could be the ideal spot. And Woofenden 9. Yep, could be waiting for that. Could be waiting for that. But Woofenden hasn't won a race either, which is a slight surprise. Can't be easy for Ty because he's had an awful lot of pressure on himself. Had a bit of time off after Cardiff, was absolutely worn out. Rode very well, of course, at Kings Lynn in event 1, but I'm sure professional pride here. He's the world champion, he's the world champion leader, and we want to do well here this evening.
It was a fantastic night at Kings Lynn last week, Kel, but this is a completely different situation. It's with all due respect to the competing nations at Kings Lynn last Saturday, this is just a different level of speedway, isn't it, tonight?
Entirely different level. This is when it really does get very tough indeed, and equipment has to be spot on, your mental state has to be spot on. I just think that nerves can get the better of you at the beginning of a meeting like this, and it can actually restrict you. The poles, I have to say, when they came out like that so well, it was quite special indeed. But as Mary Sheeslake said there, they clearly made some changes and it didn't work for them second time around, and the race meeting has got an awful lot tighter.
Yep, so 8 of the 20 gone, 12 heats to decide the world champions for 2014. Poland are the reigning champions, of course. Denmark, Australia, and the Czech Republic were the other finalists last year at the Markéta Stadium in Prague.
Yeah, dramatic win for Poland last year by just a solitary point. Denmark just running out of steam, but yeah, it was a super world final.
It certainly was. It's the Monster Energy FIM Speedway World Cup. And it's the final event here in Bydgoszcz tonight. It's been a fantastic week of speedway. And we await the team managers to make their tactical move. Ty Woofenden going off the outside gate here. There is no joker as we build up to heat number 9. It's all bunched up after the last 4 heats. But Poland picked up 6 points. 6 points was what it was. Here we go. Ty Woofenden for Great Britain. Heat 9 coming up. So here we go with heat number 9 then. Troy Batchelor going off the inside in blue for Australia. Niels Christian Iversen goes off gate 2 in red for Denmark. Christoph Kasperzak gate 3 in white for Poland. And Ty Woofenden going off the outside in yellow. We are hearing, by the way, suggestions that in heat 10, the race after this, Woofenden will be in that one as well as a tactical substitute. And they're going to go for the joker at the same time as well.
Brave move that. It's gate 1, but if anybody could do it, the world champion can. He'll be keen to try and win this one from the outside, which has been really fruitful tonight. Kasperzak also on gate 3 will be quite a tough customer. And Iversen, who really turned fortunes around for the Danes with his win in his previous ride. Yeah, this is a tough lineup with riders really on top form.
Yep, here we go. Heat number 9 of the Monster Energy FIM Speedway World Cup final. And Kasperzak's made a beauty of 3, and Woofenden has struggled early on here. Kasperzak has that lead, Batchelor second, and now coming through in red is Iversen for Denmark. Woofenden is holding 3rd right now. Batchelor going high around the outside, but Poland are bouncing back here. Christoph Kasperzak with the lead superbly, and Woofenden battling through into 3rd.
Yeah, that was a fantastic start from Kasperzak. The bike dug in and drove to the first corner, and he hit the front. Iversen then was able to charge to the front, going down second place, down the back straight earlier on, and Batchelor this time has been left at the back with the world champion in 3rd place. Once again, Woofenden not really getting in amongst the big points, but Kasperzak now being chased hard by Iversen. There's a lap to go, and Batchelor packs up out the back, but KK out in front, looking strong.
Yep, I think it's shaping up very much as though it's going to be between Poland and Denmark for the World Cup here tonight. Iversen's going to try a switch up the inside. Kasperzak's got the drive and the speed. Takes the checkered flag. Stunning ride from Christoph Kasperzak. Iversen into 2nd, Woofenden 3rd. Batchelor didn't finish. Pulled up there. not sure it was bike problems. I think it was more the fact that he couldn't see where he was going with all the shale in his goggles there. But that is a fantastic result for Poland.
Yeah, absolutely ideal. You know, the last 4 races, Ślizlek said not good enough, and they respond with another win in Heat 9. Kasperzak showing the sort of form he had here earlier this year when he won the Grand Prix in Bydgoszcz. That was a classy ride from Kasperzak.
Kasperzak, Iversen, Woffington, Bachelor. And now 9 heats gone, 21 points to Poland. Denmark have 15, Australia 14. And Great Britain have 7.
Well, there's going to be a bit of a break here for Woffington, just to give him an extra bit of time. If they remain true to the change with the Joker on the inside gate. But look at this. This is terrific from Kasperzak. Very, very competitive race this, and he makes a smashing start, middle of the track. Again, tapes up. Bike coming out of gate 3, brilliant to the first corner. Iversen there really hustling it in the first corner. Woffington desperately looking for a way through here, but it works out for Iversen. Just splits the Team GB man and the Aussie Bachelor on the outside, who actually has problems with, I think, his vision here that causes him to, he just runs out of tear-offs, I would think, later on in the race, with the world champion coming through to 3rd place. Good battle out in front, Iversen never throwing the towel in, chasing the pole right to the checkered flag, but KK wins his 2nd race this evening, and the Poles bounce back nicely after a slightly disappointing previous 4 races.
Yeah, Woffington then preparing for a second successive ride, and Nicky Pedersen could be coming in here as well as a joker in place of Mads Corneliussen. So a joker for the Danes, and Anders Secker really going for it from gate 4.
Yeah, and that could prove to be vital. Gate 4 with that swoop round the first corner. Pedersen ready. They've made the decision. It's a good move, and Simon Stead is being left out, and the world champion will come in. But unfortunately for Team GB, no race win of yet, and Ty is not quite at his best so far this evening. He is more than capable of winning races at this level. He's proven it. He's won 3 Grand Prix already this season.
He leads a world championship.
Exactly. So he'll be very keen on trying to get to the front, but the inside gate, it can leave you vulnerable. The decision will be, if he gets there, does he then let the bike run to the middle of the first corner, or does he just hug the inside? Not going to be easy for him. Doyle, red hot. Look, it's still stinking hot out there, and the Poles are delighting the home fans. And Jason Doyle is another rider that, you know, he is really now coming of age, 28 years of age, and looking good at this level now.
Very much so. Nicky Pedersen, 3-time world champion, didn't ride in Vastavik at the opening meeting of the World Cup campaign for Denmark. That was event 2, but Denmark's opening meeting, of course, which they won and got straight through to the final here at the expense of Sweden on Tuesday night in Vastavik. And a great week of Speedway. And the Grand Prix returns in a fortnight's time, and we're at a new venue, Riga in Latvia. Looking forward to that one.
I am indeed. It's a vibrant town. Visited it briefly on my way back from Daugavpils last year, Nige, and I tell you, it's going to be a terrific atmosphere.
You went a different way to me then. So, what did you sample the nightlife in Riga? What was it like?
I wouldn't have done that, Nige. You know, I just did market research, of course, but no, it is a vibrant place, and I think that they've done a lot of work on an older stadium there, and it could be done. But really interested to go there. It could be a terrific Grand Prix.
So, looking forward to that. Trip to Riga in a couple of weeks' time for the Latvian GP. Then we go to Bydgoszcz. We're back in Poland then in 4 weeks' time. And that fantastic Bydgoszcz venue. Really looking forward to that. The Friends Arena Stockholm is coming up. We're back in Vojens, Denmark. And of course, the final round of the series this year, Torren. Back here, about 40 minutes up the road from here. Who will be crowned World Speedway Champion? Well, we know that one of these nations will be World Cup winners tonight.
They will be. When we talk about the individual world championship, of course we must mention Greg Hancock, who has been in outstanding form this week. He's scored just the 40 points this week. It was outstanding. He was a freak. Chris Holder described him as a freak here on Thursday when he went through the card, scoring 21 points. Out of 21, it was a remarkable achievement once again from the American. Just having a few extra moments here for Ty Woffington. It's a hot evening. Tony Olsen, the race director, giving the world champion a bit of time just to get himself ready for back-to-back races.
Is he being generous here?
He is, yes, I would agree with that.
2 rides on the trot for Woffington. And it just seems as though the extra time that's being allowed here at the race director's discretion is a lot of time that's being allowed. But yes, it is baking hot conditions here in Bydgoszcz. Heat number 10. Two jokers going out here. Woffenden and Nicky Pedersen. Joker rides.
Tony Olsen in the background there, just hurrying up proceedings. He wants to get on with this heat. And Woffenden now on the bike. Interesting to see if he's made any changes, because clearly not quite at his best so far. But, here he comes now, the world champion will be really keen. Gate 1 is going to be tough for him.
Yeah, Woffenden back in the UK on Monday night, riding for his British club Wolverhampton against the Poole Pirates. So that'll be Woffenden against Ward at Monmouth Green on Monday night. But he's got work to do here this evening. Jason Doyle, the rider in blue for Australia here, heat number 10. So, Great Britain and Denmark using the jokers. Once you are 6 behind the leading nation, you can use a tactical substitution and or joker. And it's exactly what is coming into play here for two of the nations. Ty Woffenden replacing Simon Stead for Great Britain, and Nicky Pedersen replacing Mats Corneliussen for Team Denmark.
Yeah, the right decisions, when you look at it. You picked up on it first, Nigel, and I agree entirely. It's one of those situations where two riders out of form, you've got to just make the move. You're in a position to do so, and you've got world champions to replace those riders with. So, you've got to put your faith in some of the best riders in the world. Anna Rossiter going with the present-day world champion, and Anders Secker with the 3-time former world champion Nicky Pedersen on the outside gate.
Great Britain desperately trying to win a medal here tonight. They are a little bit of drift at the moment though. Woffenden off the inside, Jason Doyle gate 2 in blue, Pepe Protasevich gate 3 in white, and Nicky Pedersen off the outside in red. I did ask the question earlier in the week, Kelvin, and we said it to Simon Stead when I saw him at Sheffield on Monday. Do you come into this meeting just to enjoy the occasion, just to sample the occasion of being in a World Cup final, or do you seriously target a medal? Well, I'm sure it was a medal that was the first target, but there is an element for Danny King and Simon Stead of just lapping up the atmosphere in the occasion as well, Kel.
I hope so, because it can pass you by so quickly, and you can walk out of the stadium if you haven't had a great night and feel very disappointed. But they did so well to get here. If they can pick up a few points in their remaining heat, I'm sure they'll feel a lot better about things.
Here we go. Heat number 10, halfway stage of the World Cup final. Woffenden's made the start off the inside. Pedersen's going to go wide. What a move from Nicky Pedersen. He makes it look so easy, and now here is Piotr Protasevich, and Great Britain now third place with Woffenden. That will be 2 points for Great Britain. But Nicky Pedersen looking good for a big 6-point haul for Team Denmark. He went wide, he got the drive, and looks absolutely brilliant up front here. Protasevich for Poland second, Woffenden for Great Britain third, Doyle for Australia at the back.
Well, I've got to say, Nicky Pedersen looks very impressive. I can't remember when I've seen him quite as quick as this. Absolutely flying out in front, jet propelled away from gate 4, and really is just stealing a march. Protasevich has settled nicely in second place, and world champion Ty Woffenden back in third, and once again disappointment for him, and Doyle out the back, but Pedersen for the Danish team playing the joker. 6 big points in the bag here for the Danes.
Yep, this is a big result for Team Denmark. It's going to put them up to 21 points, and they will be just 2 points behind Poland. 21 points for Denmark, and a second made it work there for the Danish side. And with Pepe Protasevich battling away there for second place, that was still a good result. He could do very little more than that, because Pedersen was simply unstoppable there. From the moment he went wide early on, Kelvin, you knew the line that Nicky Pedersen was going to take. He got the drive, got the speed. It worked a treat, didn't it?
Absolutely superb in the first corner, Pedersen.
Yep, Pedersen the winner, Protasevich second, Woffenden third. 2 points for Great Britain, 6 for Denmark, of course. So let's take a look now. Here we go. Poland 23, Denmark 21, Australia 14, Great Britain 9. And that was a vital ride from Nicky Pedersen. He's well and truly up for this. Make no mistake about that.
Yeah, you're right. He looks fantastic, and you've got to say that he makes a supreme effort here from the outside. The bike digs in, and he swoops around the outside. Gate 4 working a treat once again, with Woffenden trapped on the inside. It's so difficult to really have the momentum down the inside. from the inside gate. You see it again. Doyle's the loser. He fails to score a point here when he had won his previous race, so that's a shock for him. Nicky Pedersen, though, I've got to say that was really impressive. His last 2 rides, he's got the bike set up absolutely spot on and plenty of speed out in front. He's enjoying himself here this evening in the World Cup final. Never rule him out. He's such a hard charger. There's been all sorts of controversy about the man this year, but I tell you what, when the chips are down, he never throws a towel in, does he? And he's mighty impressive so far this evening.
Well, he is controversial, Kelvin, but I can't help but love watching him. His box office, when you know Nicky Pedersen is in town, I don't know about you, but you know, if he was up the road from me and I knew Nicky Pedersen was riding at my local track, I would make every effort to go and see him.
I agree with that. He used to ride for the Eastbourne Eagles, which is not too far from where I live, and when I had a free Saturday night, I'd pop down there and watch him. And he was always entertaining there, and you're right, he's not always well liked, but he is compulsive viewing, that's for sure.
Yep, brilliant stuff. Heat number 11. Here we see in the white helmet Janusz Kolodze for Poland. And it's a 2-horse race at the moment. Poland 23, Denmark 21. The joker has worked. We've seen a 6-point joker for Denmark, 6-point joker for Australia. And the world champion for Great Britain hasn't won a heat in 4 outings. Holder off the inside, Kolodze off 2, Killerman in gate 3, King off the outside for Great Britain.
Yeah, the only thing about the Poles that you know, they've seen the jokers come and go right now, and I've got to say they still lead the meeting. So you know, they're being the other teams are throwing everything at them, but they still retain the lead. So you know, if they can just resist that charge, then they could still be in the driving seat, but time will tell. King on the outside for Great Britain. Can he do something from the gate 4 like Nicky Pedersen did? He must have taken note of what Pedersen did in the first corner.
So here we go. Heat number 11 it is. Take tries. Danny King has made a beauty off the outside gate, but hasn't quite got the pace into the first turn. The lead here early on. Oh, it's changing hands. There's 3 abreast, and now down the back straight it's bunching up, and it's Chris Holder for Australia who has that lead. Peter Killerman for Denmark is second. Danny King third right now, but just coming up the inside here is Janusz Kolodze of Poland, but King very much on the pace and comes through. Does he quite get into third? Kolodze holds a line.
He does indeed. It's a battle out the back. Got to say this is more like it. So Kolodze in third place, Peter Kilderman, who we never really quite found out what happened to him there. But Chris Holder really building on that joker performance, no question. He looks good out in front. The Australians who have just dipped a little bit in the last couple of races, but look at the Kings pushing hard to the pole once again. Peter Kilderman riding well here in second place, but Holder terrific out in front.
Yeah, Chris Holder looking superb here for Team Australia. This will put the Australians on to 17 points, and Holder is riding quite beautifully tonight. It's going to be a second successive win, and second place is Killerman for the Danish side, and that closes the gap now. And all of a sudden, after Poland started with 12 points from their opening 4 outings, there's just 1 point between Poland and Denmark. It's game on in the Monster Energy FIM Speedway World Cup final. The Ovi Funding Trophy is what they're after tonight. And Ovi Funding, the legendary Swedish multi-world champion, who, well, I know he's very proud and privileged to have his name on the trophy. Let's just confirm for you then. Poland lead Denmark by a point. Australia 17. Great Britain have 9. And that was a great ride by Chris Holder. And it's only his second meeting back, of course, after that broken wrist in the Danish league. But my goodness, he's looking sharp tonight.
Yeah, he is. And he's benefited from the race-off meeting. So them not going through at King's Lynn has done him a favour, because he is red hot here this evening, as is the weather. Holder from the inside, not easy to win races there. He makes a good decision in the first corner, and his bike's fast enough to recover. That's brilliant. Absolutely out of the top draw. Kilderman there into second place. King initially was into third place, and he looked competitive at the first part of the race, but then Kolodze is able to relegate the Team GB man back to fourth place. Kolodze, after looking exceptional in his opening ride, has now actually faded somewhat with a couple of third places, so a little bit of concern there for the Polish team. Kilderman had a hard ride. I don't know why he stopped in the first corner in his previous ride. That was slightly confusing, but yeah, Holder out in front. But the Danes and the Poles, this is really going to get nip and tuck. 1 point in it. It's going to be a real head-to-head, as it has been for the last few years.
Well, Nicky Pedersen going off gate number 4 then in heat 12, but Chris Holder looking good, very, very quick, very sharp, and that's good to see. He'll return to the Grand Prix stage after missing a couple of rounds, of course. Missed Cardiff, which I know was a bitter blow for Chris Holder, and he'll be back in Riga in a fortnight's time. It'll be good to see him back on the Grand Prix stage.
It will be, and this is doing him the world of good. He's had 5.5 weeks off coming into 2 this week, and he'll be fresh, he'll be dead keen, and who knows, he could have a really storming second half of the year. And on the evidence of his last couple of rides, well, he has every chance of really making a big impact in the second half of the Grand Prix series. Pedersen once again from the outside, Nigel. How impressive has he been in the last couple of heats? And fast, really fast.
Yeah, there was that team selection, which I think many people expected Iversen and Pedersen to be in, but there was a little question mark. Pedersen's had a couple of ordinary GPs at best, but he's still a fantastic rider. Harris off the inside for Great Britain, Darcy Ward for Australia off 2, Jarek Hampel gate 3 for Poland, and then Nicky Pedersen off the outside, just 1 point behind the Poles. Denmark, it's Poland 24, Denmark 23, just 1 point then. So if Nicky Pedersen can win this race for Denmark, it's all going to be very interesting with 8 heats to go.
Yeah, it's getting really tight, and that's terrific to see for the neutrals, of course. It was all looking one-way traffic after first 4 heats, but now Denmark have battled their way in. They've got this big 6 points. They've been inspired by their 3-time champion, former world champion Nicky Pedersen. Can he do it again from the outside?
Or can Hampel do it off gate number 3? Will Ward come to the party? Here we go. Heat number 12 it is. Ward's made a good gate off gate number 2. Harris looking good here, but Pedersen again goes to the boards. He makes it look so easy here. Hampel's at the back as well. Oh my word. Chris Harris holding 3rd place. Darcy Ward 2nd. The lead is with Nicky Pedersen. Hampel is going to work hard to try and push Chris Harris, who's hanging on to 3rd right now. But Kelvin, Nicky Pedersen is in tip-top form for Denmark.
Yeah, once again the outside move works a treat for him. Ward's there looking very strong this time in 2nd place. Harris has run too hard into turns 3 and 4 and left the door open for Hampel. Could be a crucial point there for the Danes. Ward nearly up the inside of Nicky Pedersen. Pedersen responds, stretches his legs down the back straight, but Harris making that mistake has allowed Hampel to get that point.
Yep, this would mean that Denmark will lead Poland by a point. They have used the joker, of course, and this man in the lead, Nicky Pedersen, is the hero for Denmark. Here comes Ward with a big swoop around the outside for Team Australia. But Pedersen has done the business. Great stuff from Nicky Pedersen. Fantastic ride from him. And he gives Denmark the lead, which looked so unlikely after 4 heats of this monster energy. FIM Speedway World Cup finally punches the air with delight. And it's game very much on in Bydgoszcz tonight, with 8 heats to decide who will be the World Cup winners. Seka at his side have bounced back superbly tonight, inspired by the 3 times world champion Nicky Pedersen. Here's the result: Pedersen, Ward, Hampel and Harris. And here's the progressive scores now. 12 heats gone. It's Denmark who take the lead on 26, Poland 25, with Australia on 19 and Great Britain on 9.
Well, Nicky Pedersen back to his best here. He's had gate 4 in his last 2 rides and he's taken full advantage of it. Bike digs in beautifully, he allows the bike to run. Ward there comes across from gate 2 but can't stop that run round the first corner, and Ward has to then give bets down the back straight on the opening lap. Harris was into 3rd place early on. Looking at Pedersen coming from gate 4 once again, the left leg just dangling there momentarily. He's got the back tyre in the dirt here. He knows that if he can just keep the bike running, wheels in line, he's going to generate so much speed, and so it proves. Good effort from Ward in 2nd place, but he just cannot resist the charge out in front from Pedersen, who rides supremely well. He's absolutely back on tip-top form here this evening, the 3-time former world champion, and Denmark and Nicky Pedersen looking very impressive indeed now after 12 races. Poland suddenly are under pressure.
Oh, indeed, it's quite a turnaround from Team Denmark. And Chris Holder is riding quite beautifully for Australia. He is with Jason.
Chris Holder, it's getting to the point now where the top two teams are just starting to break away. How are the boys feeling there?
Don't tell me that. Yeah, it's tough. Everyone's on the pace, you know. The track's so hard to be consistently good every time. It's tough off different gates to know what to do in the corners. So we're fighting all the way to the end, but yeah, we've got to step it up that little bit more just to be a bit more consistent and take some points off the other boys.
Is the track changing much?
Yeah, every time they water it, the last one they seemed to give it a lot of water and it made it a little bit slippery, but at Speedway you just got to watch what's going on.
All right, cheers Chris, thank you.
Riding well, isn't he, Chris Holder?
Delighted. You know, when you look at the injuries he sustained last year, horrific, and then once again this season with the neck and the wrist injury, at this level. Big smiles, of course, primarily in that camp because things have turned around massively. Mats Corneliusson is programmed to come out in the next race, and we're chatting with him there.
Well, he has to come out. They can't use a tactical sub now. They lead the meeting, and he's going to feel under pressure, Kelf.
Well, that's what yeah, absolutely. He will be under pressure. And after the momentum switch driven by Niels Christian Iversen and Nicky Pedersen, got to say that Mats Corneliusson now needs to try and get amongst the points. Disappointment for Team GB. They've just found going too tough tonight. And hot, sweaty work, as you can see on the back of Simon Stead and Danny King on the left there. Alan Rossiter, Ty Woofenden looking quite relaxed, but yeah, a difficult evening for Team GB.
Certainly is.
Got nothing to lose.
Ashley Holloway having a chat with the riders as well. He's an engine tuner based in Bydgoszcz. But here now, this is very much on a knife edge with 8 races to go. And I just wonder if Denmark do miss out tonight, how important will their team selection be? Nicky Pedersen on great form tonight. He's with Jason Harold.
Nicky Pedersen just doing his exercises here after a back-to-back wins. You've put your team in the lead in the World Cup final.
Yeah, we keep battle. We didn't have a perfect start, you know. We didn't quite have the right setup, any of us. So we managed to change a little bit, and Anders again, he made one of those moves with the tactical joke already, you know, a 4 which even Ty and some other guys good was in it, but no, I make 2 good starts from gate 4 at this time.
Of course, it was the great start by the Polish team that forced everybody's hand really with the joker.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, I think we have to also play it when we can. Don't mess about too much, you know, and this kind of round, you know, we got over Poland this time and we got back straight into it, so that's good.
How's the heat playing a part in this tonight?
A lot. I feel tired, you know, in a good way, you know, but I'm still on it very much, you know, so, but it's very hot, but it's the same for everyone.
Good, Nicky, thank you.
Thank you.
Yeah, riding well and enjoying his speedway as well. Marek Cieślak now will feel under a little bit of pressure, and he looks it as well.
Feels it. He was under pressure last year, and they got themselves out of jail with a really dramatic win in the at the end of the meeting. Team standings. This will be interesting reading. Denmark, of course, with 14 points from Nicky Pedersen. That's fabulous for him, and solid work. Just Mats Corneliusson looking to build on that. Holder doing a similar job for the Australians. Surprising to see Ty Woofenden, the world champion, not quite at his best here tonight, Nige.
Yeah, absolutely. He's not won a race, Woofenden. 7 points so far from 4 outings. Harris on 2. So really, Great Britain here, I think, just to try and enjoy the experience if they can. I think their moment in the sun was very much last Saturday in Kings Lynn. That was their big moment, wasn't it?
Yeah, it was a great display. This is a different environment, different conditions, and they found it very difficult indeed. And as you rightly say, with races running out, it's important for those guys to try and just relax a little bit and just try and pick up 1 or 2 points. Polish crowd, hugely proud nation, Speedway nation, Poland. It's gone a little bit quieter in town right now. Denmark just that slim lead, but Poland with that unbelievable start tonight. It's quite a turnaround by Denmark, and they're showing their class.
Yeah, it may well have been a different story if Poland hadn't built up the advantage like they had, and Denmark were not able to use a joker as early as heat 10. Then it may well have been a completely different kettle of fish, if you like, as we built up to heat 13 now. Darcy Ward will come in for Troy Batchelor as a tactical substitution for Australia, and the Australians will be bitterly disappointed to be 7 behind Denmark with 8 races to go. I'm sure they'll feel as though they should be in a much better position, Kelv.
Yeah, they just had a desperate start, caught out by different conditions here on Saturday. You know, they battled hard on Thursday, but they just got off to that poor start, and then they've had some, you know, in and out performances. Ward hasn't won a race so far. Got to say, Chris Holder's been rock solid. Jason Doyle has won a race, but then ran a last, and Batchelor has been clearly struggling and confused with which bike to ride, swapping on more than one occasion. So Ward, who was pretty impressive behind Pedersen his last ride, he chased him down and may have just got a little bit better on the bike setup, so they'll be keeping their fingers crossed. But Jarek Hampel also, Nigel, he wasn't as impressive last time. He had a 3rd place and just didn't look quite as fast as he did early on.
No, well, Poland have only won 1 of their last 8 heats. They've won 1 race since heat number 4, when they'd won 4 on the spin.
Well, that's significant. Kasperzak's the only one that's done that. And all of a sudden, Koloce and Hampel found it more difficult. Protasevich has been really doing some sterling work, but yeah, pressure on. This last 13 through 16 is going to be vital now for the Poles to really get back in this meeting and stamp their authority on it. They've got some Koloce off gate 3, Hampel comes off gate 4 here, and that might prove to be beneficial because, no question, the inside gates it's been much more difficult to win races from.
So heat number 13 it is. The Monster Energy FIM Speedway World Cup final about to resume here in Bydgoszcz. Hope you're enjoying our coverage wherever you are in the world tonight. In Australia in the early hours of Sunday morning.
He's changed his bike, Nigel. Jarek Hampel out on a spare bike here. Started so well, he gave it a run for the next 2, but 2 third places. He's now been forced into a change. Mats Corneliusson coming out for a ride, having been replaced by Pedersen. Pressure on Mats Corneliusson. He's only got a point, and the Danes are leading the meeting. They need to try and just keep themselves right there.
Big 13 coming up then, and the Dane Mats Corneliusson will feel the pressure here. The red helmet colour going off gate number 3. Jarek Hampel desperate to bounce back as far as the Poles are concerned.
Yeah, absolutely, and that gate 4's been so fruitful. Got to say that Nicky Pedersen has had it twice so far, and he's been absolutely supreme around that first corner.
Here we go with heat number 13, and going off the inside is Danny King in yellow for Team Great Britain. Gate number 2 is Darcy Ward, the tactical substitute, in for Troy Batchelor for Australia. Mats Corneliusson goes off gate number 3 in red for Denmark. Going off the outside is Jarek Hampel for Poland. The Poles have only won 1 of their last 8 races here in Bydgoszcz tonight after winning 4 on the spin at the start of the night. It really has been a dramatic turnaround, and Denmark have given themselves a great chance. And if Ward can win this race as well for Australia, you never know, they might just mount some sort of comeback.
Yeah, they could do. They've got the class to. You know, you look at their lineup, and they've got genuine world-class riders. And Ward, who hasn't won a race so far, he'll be desperate to do it here now as a tactical substitute.
Here we go, heat number 13. And Darcy Ward's made a good one, but coming around the outside is Jarek Hampel. Corneliusson now holding 3rd. Ward coming up the inside, has to lock the bike up, and Corneliusson comes through into 2nd place. Ward now goes high and wide towards the fence. The lead is with Hampel, and now Ward is going to hunt down Corneliusson of Denmark.
Indeed he is. It's a fantastic first corner from Jarek Hampel. Got to say, Mats Corneliusson was in the right place at the right time there, and was opportunist move, and he got himself into 2nd place. Good move from Mats Corneliusson under a lot of pressure. Ward now beginning to strut his stuff back in 3rd place with King out the back, but Hampel responds brilliantly. That gate 4 working a treat for him.
And Mats Corneliusson desperate to hang on to 2nd spot here, because if he can do, it means that it will be level. But Ward's come up the inside, and Corneliusson just holds his line going into the last lap. That was a great ride from Corneliusson to hold his nerve. He's still going to come under fire from Darcy Ward. Jarek Hampel for the Poles though, kicking on beautifully here. And now Corneliusson goes to the fence. Corneliusson holds the line. Ward hangs on for 3rd under pressure from Danny King. of Great Britain. That was a great speedway race. Jarek Hampel with the victory. He gets 3 big points for Poland onto 28. Couple for Denmark, they're on 28. It's level with 7 heats to go here in Bydgoszcz.
Well, Jarek Hampel there playing the captain's role, brilliant in the first corner, and I've got to say a big shout out here for Mads Corneliusson. What a ride from the Danish rider under massive pressure, and he produced the ride of his life there to hang on to second place. Fair play.
Yeah, agree totally. Brilliant ride from Mads. Poland 28, Denmark 28, Australia 20, and Great Britain 9 is how it stands right now. And Mads Corneliusson just holding on for that second place as he had a real test of character.
Oh yeah,
and held his nerve superbly, Kelvin.
He did, and I feel for him, and it's I was feeling for him rather earlier, but this is a test of character for him, and he came through with flying colours. Good stuff from Hampel. God, that was close there with Ward coming from the inside and Corneliusson then switching to the inner when he went into turn 3. Terrific split-second decision from the Danish rider. Hampel out in front. Got to say, he rides a stormer. It's tense here because right at the end, you know, King was never really out of this race. It was awfully close, but Mads Corneliusson, you could just sense that he was really under pressure, really tense on the bike. Ward pushing so hard, but Corneliusson responds and somehow gets himself back into second place. And as I say, it is a remarkable effort there. The bike just lifting and pulling him a little wide, killing a little bit of momentum, but Ward has also tried to run deep and then switch to the back, and the Danes will be chuffed to bits with that.
Well, I think Mads Corneliusson has done a great job for Denmark there. So has Hampel for Poland, don't get me wrong. But that was a big, big ride.
It was, and as I say, a round of applause for him, because having to watch, he's been out of the action for some time, coming back in, yeah, good stuff.
So, it's delicately poised. The Monster Energy FIM Speedway World Cup final here in Bydgoszcz. And the pole here is taking his time on the back straight with 1 or 2 last-minute adjustments. Literally last minute, because he's under a minute left of the 2-minute time allowance on that back straight.
Not ideal. Just readjusting the chain on the bike. Haven't heard of any changes. I do think it's Kolodze, it is. And now he's making his way round. After a fast start for Poland and Kolodze, he has only scored 2 points from his last couple of rides. So comes out of gate 3. Need to try and pick up where Hampel did this last race. So yeah, Kolodze again. This is tight stuff. Level pegging.
Here we go then, heat number 14, Niels Christian Iversen off the inside for Denmark. Gate number 2 in yellow is Chris Harris for Great Britain. Off gate 3 in white, Janusz Kolodze for Poland. And off the outside in blue here for Australia is Jason Doyle. Which way will it go now? We're level between Denmark and Poland, with Australia on 20. Great Britain are on 9, here we go. Big heat number 14, tape tries. Harris has made a good start, but Iversen goes square in the first turn. And now coming around the outside is Doyle, but up the inside is Kolodze. And now Doyle around the outside. Iversen's at the back, would you believe it? Oh, and now Kolodze all over the place. And here comes Iversen up the inside. But Jason Doyle for Australia. Sensational. Kolodze almost loses it again. And Harris round the outside.
Iversen up the inside, he's run against Kolodze to the back. Fantastic speedway. Doyle, who failed to score last time, he's at the back. Kolodze now pushing Iversen up the inside. Harris into second place. Fabulous speedway. Iversen now, the 2 main protagonists for tonight's World Cup victory, are 3rd and 4th. Iversen now pushing hard up the inside of the Team GB man. Gets that second place. Doyle's good at in front for the Aussies.
Yeah, this is great speedway, and Harris isn't done yet. Chris Harris having a real go on Iversen. Kolodze at the back. Doyle's missing all the action, and now coming down towards the finish line, it's Jason Doyle from Iversen, from Harris, and Kolodze at the back. And that was spectacular speedway here in Bydgoszcz, heat 14 of the World Cup final.
Wow, that was the race of the night. Got to say, the battle for 2nd, 3rd and 4th was out of the top draw. Jason Doyle, great work from him, failed to score in his previous ride, comes up with a storming heat there and wins in fine style. The battle between Kolodze, Iversen and Harris was extraordinary. How on earth they stayed on. Kolodze lifting and bucking all over the track at one point. What a speedway race.
And Chris Harris knows that it's a forlorn battle for Great Britain, but he is proud to represent his country and wound it all on there. Great stuff from Harris, but what about Jason Doyle for Australia? That is a fantastic ride to put him onto 23 points. And now Denmark lead this World Cup final by a couple of points with 6 heats to go. What a turnaround it's proved to be here in Bydgoszcz.
Yeah, it has been quite a turnaround. Initially, Bydgoszcz, who made a poor start, he switches to the inside and gets that foot up on the footrest, gets himself to the front, but can't resist that move from Doyle around the outside, who's totally committed. Look at this action up behind Doyle. Doyle misses all the fireworks that go on here. Bydgoszcz lifting twice in the first and second corner. Second time of asking. Harris then gets around the outside of him with Niels Christian Iversen then getting himself into third place. And all credit to Iversen, who was having to work overtime here. Look at this action. Bikes, it's quite choppy. They really ripped the track up earlier today, and with the hot baking sun on the track here this evening, it has broken up in places. Harris rides well, but Niels Christian Iversen charging through in the second place, and that was vital for the Danes. Danes now with a 2-point lead over the Poles. This is going to be a tough night now. Denmark really working supremely well, showing great composure. And Doyle out in front, Cieslak under pressure.
Yeah, Jason Doyle, who made his World Cup debut last year, rides for the Leicester Lions in the UK. Doyle, as does Mats Corneliussen, by the way, of the Danes here tonight. Heat 15 coming up. And what a World Cup final this has turned out to be. And the racing's getting pretty breathtaking, Kel.
It is. It takes your breath away. It's just choppy out there as well. You saw with Bydgoszcz, the bike lifting quite violently at times. This racetrack has always produces some special stuff, and we're beginning to see it. The pressure's coming on. Riders taking more chances. Bike set up now. All of a sudden, they're throwing caution to the wind. The early racing nerves have gone. It's now down to the wire. Kasperzak out here for the Poles. Can he produce something special? Because the Danes have laid down the gauntlet.
And it's Peter Killerman off gate 2 for Denmark here against Kasperzak. Kasperzak, by the way, with one of only a couple of race wins in the last 10 races for Poland. Kasperzak and Hampel, the only 2 race winners since Heat 4. For the Poles, it's Kasperzak off the inside, Killerman off gate 2, Stead off 3 for Great Britain. And what about Darcy Ward from the outside as well? He's worked hard tonight, but he's only got 4 points to his name.
Yeah, below par performance. You can't lack the commitment. You can see it's going in there, but doesn't make starts on a regular basis, and is giving himself a lot of work to do in this high-quality field. To come through the traffic is not always easy. And so it's proved for him tonight, but he's got the outside gate, and we've seen that work well for several riders. Can Ward now finally get himself to the front?
Here we go. Every race absolutely vital now. Heat number 50, Kasperzak. Beautiful gate from KK off the inside. Here comes Ward around the outside in blue. This is bad news for Denmark. But Ward's coming around the outside now and has got the lead. That's a fantastic ride from Darcy Ward. Christoph Kasperzak is second. Third in red is Peter Killerman. Simon Stead to the back. Killerman will wind it on and try the inside switch now down the back straight. Peter Killerman right up the back wheel of Kasperzak.
Yeah, good move there, but you've got to say the bravery of Ward this time now. The outside gate worked for him. Great action, Peter Kilderman. We know how fast he is. Switches to the outside. Kasperzak in the middle of that first and second corner. Kilderman's got speed. He's going to do him. Brilliant. Neck and neck down the back straight. Fantastic speedway. Ward's gone. He's got this one in his back pocket. What a ride from Kilderman.
That is a sensational ride from Peter Killerman of Denmark. Kasperzak relegated to third. Ward has the lead. Here comes KK again.
Oh, off the inside, Kasperzak.
Oh, he's gone.
Too wide. Kilderman repays a compliment. Best race of the night.
Fantastic speedway here in Bydgoszcz. And Denmark open up their lead further. And Darcy Ward with his best race of the night for Australia. And could it be that Poland are now losing their grip on the World Cup? Still 5 heats to go to decide this. Still a long, long way to go. 20 laps of speedway still to decide this.
Wow.
Maybe a few more if we need a restart.
Yeah, what a race. Gonna have a lie down, I think, because that was something special, wasn't it? Ward was clear, brilliant, but
excited there.
We did indeed. Peter Kilderman and Kasperzak entertaining us.
Brilliant stuff. Ward with his best race of the night. Now Denmark 3 up on Poland. Australia 26 and Great Britain are on 10.
Yeah, poor night for Team GB. Just haven't been at the races this evening. They just can't get to the first corner and get amongst it. What a ride from Peter Kilderman. Got to say, Darcy Ward, finally, I've won a race. I've had to work so hard and then suddenly I've hit the front and it was an awful lot easier. See it again. Kasperzak makes a great start from the inside. Ward right off the fence. And we see it often here. You just get that slingshot off the first corner and he gets himself to the front. But it's the action between Kasperzak and Peter Kilderman which literally gets you on the edge of you see it here. Battling so very hard, and Kasperzak, once the initial move from Peter Kilderman up the inside, Kasperzak does remarkably well then to actually regain second place. But later on, all credit to Kilderman because Kasperzak just runs too wide late in the race, and it really is. This was the move for Kasperzak to get back to second place, but he just can't quite hang on to it and drifts too wide, and Kilderman then, the door wide open, he's able to charge back into second place. It was a thrilling speedway race, the sort of race we see here on many occasions at Bydgoszcz, and why Bydgoszcz as a track has such a great reputation. That was the problem there with Kilderman Kasperzak lifting at the vital moment to open the door, but Ward will be pleased with that because he's had a frustrating week.
Well, now Australia 3 points off Poland for a silver medal spot, but it's still all to race for here. Heat number 16 as we build up to this one, and this is the final round of races, penultimate round of heats, I should say, with the nominated riders' races still to come. It's a great lineup, isn't it?
What's a lineup? Pedersen,
3 world champions.
3 world champions, and Protasevich feels a bit of an odd man out here. He knows what it's like to win a World Cup, of course, and he's got Gate 4, which could prove to be very useful for the Poles. 3 points behind. Nicky Pedersen, the man in form on the inside.
Pedersen off the inside in red. Ty Woffenden, Gate 2 in yellow for Great Britain. Chris Holder, Gate 3 in blue for Australia. Going off the outside, Piotr Protasevich, known to the fans in the UK, of course, for his spells with Ipswich, Peterborough, Kings Lynn. Had a brief spell with Oxford as well, Pepe Protasevich.
Good rider, Protasevich, a real professional, still looks very slim, very fit. Riding supremely well here this year in Poland and in Sweden. Kilderman, what a ride that was from Peter Kilderman.
I thought it was a very intelligent ride, Kelvin.
Yeah, calm on the bike, rode great as a wild card in the Copenhagen Grand Prix to make the final. He's got a big future, that lad, there's no question of that. Pedersen on the inside, can he win the race from there? Because it's not easy getting off the first corner on the inside.
Here we go, heat number 16, Denmark off the inside, Poland off the outside, and Pedersen's made a good start, so is Woffenden, who does a clever switch up the inside here, and now Woffenden holds the lead. Now coming through in white is Pepe Protasevich for Poland, but Pedersen will wind it all on, he won't give up, Woffenden has the lead at the moment, no room for Pedersen.
Brilliant stuff for Protasevich, who got himself into second place. Pedersen now responding round the outside, fantastic first corner and lap from the world champion Ty Woffenden. And this time he's really stamping his authority on it. Protasevich has ridden a stormer to get himself to second place. Got to say, Pedersen back in third, running through the holes, not looking like he's putting pressure on. The world champion looking like the champ out in front.
Yeah, now Nicky Pedersen really under pressure from Chris Holder. If it stays like this, it means the gap will down to 2 between Poland and Denmark, with the final round of races to come. 4 heats to go. The lead here is with Ty Woffenden, who's about to become Great Britain's first winner of the night. Woffenden in yellow, that's more like it from Woofy. Second place in white, Pepe Protasevich, and Nicky Pedersen was third. And at the back was Chris Holder. What a race again, spectacular stuff here in Bydgoszcz tonight. And Woffenden with a win for Team Great Britain, but significantly just behind him, Poland are able to close the gap on Denmark now to just 2 points with 4 to go.
Well, that's why he's the world champion, folks. That was a supreme first corner from the world champion, and he absolutely steamed to the front. And once he was there, he showed great speed. Protasevich, what a second corner, turns 3 and 4 when he surged into second place, was out of the top draw.
Here we go, 4 to go. Denmark lead Poland by 2, Australia 26, and Britain have 13.
Well, got to give a lot of character there. It was a supreme effort from that man, but the action behind him, of course, was all important for the World Championship on the line here tonight. Pedersen makes a good start, good first corner from Woofenden. Here comes Protasevich steaming up the inside and gets the better of Pedersen, who just gets trapped there up against the fence because Woofenden slammed the door shut. But you've got to say Protasevich there makes Pedersen work really hard, and that's what you would expect at this level. And Protasevich rides nicely and strongly to get himself disappointment this time for Chris Holder, who has had some really good races from him, but this time just gets relegated to the back. It's such a strong lineup. Somebody had to finish at the back, and unfortunately for Holder it was him. Look at the action down there. That really is high-speed stuff, and the rider's really putting it on the line. Protasevich right off the air fence later in the race, with Holder desperately trying to make his mark in the race to get the better of Pedersen. But Ty Woofenden, that's the first race win for Team GB. Some consolation for them.
Well, what a night it's been. Yet consolation for Great Britain with a win for Woofenden.
Yeah.
They're not going to get a medal tonight, but oh my goodness, what a night of Speedway we've seen, and 4 heats to go. And the Polish crowd, a little bit tense, but they're getting well and truly behind their side. It's going down to the wire. 4 heats to go here in Bydgoszcz tonight. Marek Cieślak, the Polish team manager, and Aseka, the Danish team manager. They have some big selections to make here, Kelvin, in terms of riding order.
They will indeed. We've seen team managers sort of front-loading these heats with big riders coming out in heat 17 and 18 to try and seal the deal, but it's so tense, it's so tight.
Well, let's hand down to our man in the pits, Jason Harold, to talk us through the pick for riders for the last 4.
So here we are then. We come to the business end of the World Cup final here in Bydgoszcz. And the scoreboard shows that it will be the Great Britain team who get the first pick. It'll be Australia, then Poland, the hosts, who've seen their lead slip, of course, and Denmark, thanks to that Nicky Pedersen joker midway through the meeting, who now lead on 31 points. Now, we have, just moving to the side of me here at the scoreboard, the Great Britain team manager, Alan Rossiter, who has first pick. So, Alan moving into position, and his choice for Heat 17 will be Chris Harris. Chris Harris goes in yellow in Heat 17. Heat 18, and of course some of these are subject to changes, as we've seen throughout this competition. Danny King for Great Britain, looking to break his duck in Heat 18. Heat number 19 is the skipper, and getting a win on the board last time out, Ty Woofenden. And Heat 20 will be Simon Stead. Now it is the choice is, I should say, of Mark Lemon, the Australian team manager. Of course, still very much to the fore in competing in the British leagues back home. He puts Jason Doyle in Heat 17. Heat number 18 sees the Aussie skipper Chris Holder. Heat 19 is Troy Batchelor, and without too much deliberation to his 4 selections, Darcy Ward goes in Heat 20. They are still in touch with the leaders, are Australia, still all to race for. Now we are waiting the arrival of the Polish team manager, Marek Cieślak. Of course, no stranger to international competition, former rider with the White City Rebels back in the late 70s in the UK. He's just making his way over to the scoreboard. Man under a bit of pressure. So his team off to the best possible start, and he makes his way over to select his riders. Seen that lead slip, been reeled in by the Danes, and the Aussies just 5 points behind the hosts. But it's Christoph Kasprzyk that will go in Heat 17, man affectionately known as KK. Heat number 18 is the skipper, Jarek Hampel. Heat number 19 is Piotr Potasiewicz. He'll go off gate 4 in Heat 19, and off the inside in white in Heat 20, Janos Kolodziej. And the final pick, even though his team are in the lead, it still takes a lot of thought. This Speedway meeting turning into a bit of a game of chess as we approach the final stages of the Monster Energy Speedway World Cup here in Bydgoszcz. Mads Corneliussen completes the lineup for Heat 17. He goes in red, and Nicky Pedersen, heat 18 from gate 4. Peter Kildemand is the rider of gate 1 in heat 19, and it'll be maybe the skipper who will hope to be claiming the World Cup. Niels Christian Iversen goes into heat 20 off gate 2, and there we are. They are the riders for the last 4 heats. Here we go, heats 17 to 20 of this Monster Energy World Cup final.
Thank you, Jason. Yes, and the only side who, of course, at the moment are in a position, the only 2 teams who are in a position to make changes are Australia and Great Britain. Tactical substitutions.
Yeah.
So here we go, heat 17. Corneliussen for Denmark, Doyle, Kasperzak and Harris. And we can but wonder here with a 2-point cushion whether that will be enough for Denmark. It's very tense and it could go down to a last heat decider.
Yeah, very likely to. Marek Cieślak has played his hand here. He's gone front-loaded it. Kasperzak going out in 17, followed by Hampel in 18. He's putting his big guns out straight away, trying to put plenty of pressure on the Danish team right from the word go in these last 4 heats.
Well, the legendary Ove Fundin, who the World Cup trophy is named after, is down in the pits with Jason.
Speedway legend Ove Fundin, 5 times world champion. You've got a World Cup trophy named after you. Are you enjoying the evening?
Very much so. I'm happy that I'm here and seeing such good racing. Of course, it would have been nice to see in Sweden in here. After all, I'm Swedish.
Sweden, we know, battled really, really hard. Who is if you were a gambling man, who would your money be on out of the 3 teams that are battling it out for these last 4 heats?
Well, I'm not sure, but before the meeting, I put my money on Australia.
Well, they could still do it. They are within reach. You still obviously love this sport because I know you say, I don't want to sit in the grandstand. I want to just have a wander around and watch the racing.
That's much more fun because that's where I belong, so to say, you know. Because as a rider, of course, I never saw the racing and I was always around in the pits and seeing it from there.
Great to see you. Great to talk to you. Thank you, Ove.
Thank you.
Yeah, great to see Ove Fundin here. And the final heat's coming up then. So it'll be interesting to see where it goes. We're not actually hearing of any changes here, so Chris Harris will go for Great Britain and Jason Doyle for Australia. So really, Kasperzak against Corneliussen. Kasperzak off gate 3 and Corneliussen off 1. Interesting.
Well, the lead could evaporate in that race, couldn't it? You could easily see Kasperzak winning and Corneliussen, struggling to get the 2nd place. That could prove to be quite a move there from Cieślak by front-loading heat 17 with his very strong Kasperzak, who's shown good form tonight. Followed then, of course, by heat 18 with Hampel. Tense times. This is crunch time for the gold medal. And Denmark, of course, with Mads Corneliussen coming back in after being replaced by Nicky Pedersen, riding a Stormer. These are going to be some dramatic 4 heats coming up, Nigel. This is some tense stuff.
It is tense stuff, and we can't wait for these last 4 races with Kasperzak here in white for the Poles, Corneliussen in red, and well, high pressure in his first ever World Cup campaign. Mads Corneliussen, how's he feeling now?
Well, he's going to be feeling very nervous because he responded and rode a real good race in his last to get 2nd place, and he was under a lot of pressure from Darcy Ward. But now with Kasperzak, who has been in fine form actually this evening, he's done a great job for the Poles this evening. He's had at least a couple of wins for the Polish side. Yeah, 2 wins, a 2nd and a 3rd, so pretty solid there from KK at gate 2. But Corneliussen off gate 3, he's going to have to come up with something special. Cieślak's been here before, he's been and done it, got the T-shirt, but I'm sure he'll be keeping his fingers crossed. But this could be key to the outcome of the meeting.
So it's very, very tense. And perhaps Cieślak has put Kasperzak in here to really turn up the pressure on Denmark as we build up to heat 17. 4 heats to go then to decide 2014 World Cup winners here at this fantastic racetrack here in Bydgoszcz. What a fantastic night of Speedway we've had, and 4 heats still to come to decide the champions. Here we go with heat 17. Chris Harris off the inside in yellow for Team Great Britain. Off the gate number 2 is Krzysztof Kasperzak for Poland. Mats Corneliusson off 3 in red for Denmark. Jason Doyle off the outside in blue. He's had a good night for Australia as well. It is going all the way here, Kelvin.
Yeah, it's going to go down to the wire. This is a key race. This could decide the outcome of the World Cup. Kasperzak up against Mats Corneliusson. This could be really a dogfight right now.
Green light on. And Chris Harris has made a decent one, but Kasperzak looking good here. And now coming around the outside is Jason Doyle. Kasperzak now trying to get around the outside of Harris, and he has done it. Corneliusson's at the back. Now Corneliusson is going to try the outside line. If it stays like this, Poland and Denmark will be level with 3 to go. And Corneliusson has to pass Harris here. Doyle has that lead for Australia with Kasperzak second. It's going well for Poland here.
Marek Cieślak put his top man out in this race, heat 17, and it's looking like it could work out perfectly. Harris there doing the Poles a big favour by hanging on to 3rd place because Corneliusson just didn't get away off the start. Doyle's enjoyed a really good Grand Prix, World Cup final, fantastic riding from him. Just one blip where he failed to score, but Kasperzak in 2nd place. Corneliusson desperate to try and get himself to 3rd place.
We're into the last lap and Jason Doyle has got 3 wins to his name, but here comes Corneliusson. Corneliusson battling hard here to get the better of Chris Harris now for Denmark. It's a win here for Doyle. 2nd place Kasperzak, and Harris holds on. It's level. The scores are level with 3 to go.
Absolutely, Kasperzak there. Excuse me, calling Corneliusson Kasperzak. Very similar racing suits, but Corneliusson will be disappointed with that. He just could not land a blow. Tried awfully hard, but he just couldn't get himself into the points, and that worked out a treat for the Poles. And Cieślak putting Kasperzak in heat 17 does the business. Neck and neck, 3 heats to go.
Well, what a race again. Heat number 17. We're going all the way. It's level. Poland, Denmark, with Australia 4 behind with 3 to go. Jason Doyle has done a fantastic job for Australia tonight. Chris Harris there picking up a point in heat number 17. Just wonder whether they may give him a tactical substitute ride here as well.
May well do. He's ridden, he's tried his heart out tonight. Good stuff here from Doyle, and he is comfortable out in front. It's Kasperzak who had to battle really hard to get himself into 2nd place. Mats Corneliusson, you got to feel for him. This was huge pressure for him, and he just couldn't quite get there. He's there on the outside, but Harris doesn't do him any favours, and you've got to say, well, he doesn't have to do him any favours, but it certainly is a benefit there for the Polish team with Kasperzak hanging on to 2nd place. Jason Doyle has done a super job for his country. No complaints there. Got to say Corneliusson very nearly gets into 3rd place to hold the lead for Denmark, but he just can't quite do it with Harris hanging on to 3rd. But dramatic times. We thought that may have been the case, and so it proved.
Yeah, great stuff from Jason Doyle. 3 race wins. He can feel proud of his efforts tonight.
Too right. Super effort.
And Chris Holder is coming out here for Australia in heat 18, but he's up against Nicky Pedersen, Jari Campbell, Danny King, who hopefully he's benefited from the experience and can feel proud of representing Great Britain in this World Cup. He'll be back in the UK tomorrow riding for Newcastle in the Premier League 14 tournament at Peterborough tomorrow afternoon. So busy old spell for Danny as we build up to heat number 18 now, and the World Cup on the line. Hampel in white, and we have Nicky Pedersen in red. Pedersen will go off the outside and Hampel off gate 3. They're side by side, going into that first turn.
No prisoners will be taken, I'm sure, and it's going to be tight. Hampel now, he's an accomplished performer, but he's got to come up with something special.
Holder off the inside, Danny King off gate number 2. Welcome to the World Cup final, Danny. Jari Campbell, gate 3 in white, and Nicky Pedersen off the outside. It is a fantastic lineup here in heat number 18.
Yeah, Holder's ridden nicely as well. You know, when he came up with the Joker ride earlier on, the big 6 points, followed up with another race win as well. But Australia just haven't been quite clicking at the right moments, and hence they're just that little bit out of it for the gold medal tonight. They're going to pick up a medal, but it looks like it might well be a bronze. But Pedersen, who's been inspired, he has been on top form. Hampel's been a bit in and out. He won his opening ride with Jari Campbell, but then had a couple of 3rd places and then came up with a very important win in his 4th heat. Gates 3 and 4. That's where all the action is. Start Marshall just having a go at Nicky Pedersen. Here we go, Nigel.
Massive race coming up heat number 18. Team tries, Pedersen's got off to a good start. Hampel off 3 as well, has made the start and has got the lead. He's got to go wide, he's got to close the door. Down the back straight, no room for Pedersen. Ruthless, Nicky's wound up, King's pulled up on the back. Now Pedersen is going to try and come through. The man in blue here is Chris Holder for Australia. This will give Poland a 1-point lead with 2 heats to go in the World Cup final.
Well, what an opening lap that was from Jarek Hampel. Nicky Pedersen's not out of it. He's pushing awfully hard in second place. He runs wide with Holder in third. Hampel responding, he won his previous race. He's showing terrific class. He's got the weight of a nation on his shoulders here. He's out in front looking fantastic. Nicky Pedersen has been in terrific form tonight, but all credit to Jarek Hampel. He had a couple of third places, but now with a lap to go, he looks like he's going to go back-to-back race wins.
This is a major boost for Poland. It's advantage to the home nation here because they have the lead now if he's just going to hold on here for the last 2 bends of heat number 18. Listen to the roar. Poland retake the lead with 2 heats to go. Right place, right time. Jarek Hampel sends Bydgoszcz into delight. Still some work to do. Still only a point between them. But it's advantage Poland here.
Well, he showed a lot of composure there, and that's why he's the world number 2 and has been such a sterling performer at this level. They've won plenty of World Cups, and he's got a whole history of winning races and winning World Cups to his name. Jarek Hampel showing tremendous character. What a race that was. It was so tight down the back straight on the opening lap.
Certainly was. So this is how it looks then. It's Poland 36, Denmark 35, Australia 30, Great Britain 14. So Poland, who now have Protasevich and Kolodze in heats 19 and 20 against Kilderman and Iversen.
Yeah, it's going to be very... he's front-loaded it, as I've said before, and they've come up with 2 back-to-back race wins, Kasper Zak and Jarek Hampel, and it's got them right back into the picture. It's put all the pressure back on the Danish team to now respond. Pedersen and Hampel down that back straight. Nicky Pedersen had no racing room. He had to just ease off the throttle momentarily to allow Hampel to stamp his authority. Holder on the inside. Danny King has some sort of mechanical issues and he's not out. He's out of the picture, but look at that from Hampel. That was a fantastic ride from him. As I said before, he had the weight of the nation here on him. Level going into this race, and he produces when he really needs to. And fair play to him. Nicky Pedersen, well, he can't beat himself up because he rode a stormer and he's had a terrific night. He's put the Danes right back in it when the Poles early doors looked like they were going to dominate proceedings. This is tense stuff, just a point in it. 2 races to go. Over to you, Peter Kilderman and Pepe Protasevich.
We are hearing now as well that Jason Doyle is going to come in blue as a tactical substitute for Australia to replace Troy Batchelor. The enigma that is Troy Batchelor, such a fantastic display in Copenhagen in the Grand Prix, but 2 points from 3 rides tonight. But Doyle, what a display from this man.
Yeah, he has been exceptional. He really has come of age. He rode well for the injured Holder last year and did nicely. He's been injury-free. He's been full of confidence riding for the Leicester Lions. And he's 28. He's had some terrible injury problems that has curtailed his opportunities at the highest level, but he has made his mark tonight, and coming in for an extra ride here, can he finish off in style? But there's just a small case of the World Cup on the line here, Nigel, and riders either side of him are going to be scrapping for every possible point. And Kilderman, who was immensely impressive when he beat Kasper Zak in his last ride, has got that man to deal with. Protasevich going from the outside. This is what the World Cup is all about.
Could be a bit special, this. We've got the world champion in this one as well. Woffington, off gate 3 in yellow.
Just for added bit of spice.
Didn't forget about him, did we? Not at all. Fantastic stuff here in the World Cup final in Bydgoszcz tonight. 2 heats to go. Polska, Polska, all around this stadium being chanted. Killerman, Doyle, Woffington, Protasevich. Poland 36, Denmark 35. 2 heats to go. Hans Andersen and Anders Secker watching on here. Penultimate race of the night.
Penultimate race. Might be interesting here with Peter Kilderman on the inside. It might be advantage Poland with Protasevich coming from the outside. Outside has been really quite productive. Gives you 2 opportunities. Marek Šislek there having a chat with Amanda Castagna. Of course, the Italian was a terrific rider in his own right and very much a part of the FIM setup these days. But here we go, crunch time. Which way is it going to go?
Here we go, heat number 19. It's high pressure. That's a great start from Doyle, and Killerman has missed it completely. Now he's going to try the inside switch. Is there any room here? Protasevich has gone down! Protasevich has gone down! The Polish fans cannot believe it. The red lights are now on! And Protasevich there for Poland has gone down dramatically. Coming around turn 2 here in Bydgoszcz. Referee Jim Lawrence will have a look at it.
I fear for him. I think he's going to go here. He ran for the big wide line and just ran out of room. He hit the bottom of the kickboard and it just fired him off the bike. Doyle there had every right to go there. He's gone for the big blast around the outside and he runs into the bottom of the fence.
Got to go.
He's got to go. He will be excluded. He's going to give the opportunity now for Peter Kilderman and the Danish team.
Yeah, he's disqualified him.
Whoa.
White light is on.
Poles can't believe it. They're desperately disappointed. Polish people looking at the referee, they can't believe it, but unfortunately for Protasevich, he just went for a little bit too much and got a load of grip and then fired himself off the bike.
I don't quite understand what the disagreement is there. It's a clear-cut decision.
Well, the Poles are so passionate about it, they will just disagree with anything.
Well, I'm saying it with the protection of our commentary box, by the way.
Okay, yes,
I'm really grateful here.
We'll see it again. Doyle, who's been inspired this evening, makes a sensational start from gate 2, runs the bike across that first corner, and Protasevich is committed. But he just runs too wide, and he just runs out of track, clips the air fence, and he just literally slips off the bike, and that could be their World Cup done there. Could very well be, because if Kilderman now can get himself a couple of points at least, it's not all over, because he's still going to have to deal with Doyle and the world champion, but it is a terrific opportunity for the Danish team.
Well, it's very, very tense here now, but there were some sarcastic gestures being made towards the referee's box by some unhappy Polish people here, which you can understand. They're passionate about their nation, but don't really see there's anything to argue about.
No, you know, it's understandable. They desperately want to see their team win, and they would consider that Doyle pushed him wide and he just ran out of room. But unfortunately for Pepe Protasevich, he may have just made that mistake at the crucial moment, because Peter Kilderman, who's done a pretty good job tonight, he's been involved in some pretty high speed action, hasn't managed to win a race this evening, and he's still got the small task of dealing with the world champion and Jason Doyle, who has won plenty of races. Doyle has won 3 and Kilderman's had 3 second places and a last place, so it's not all over for the Poles, but you know, without a Polish rider in the race, it's still an opportunity for them to do something. Protasevich there, of course, disappointed to be excluded, but I think in his heart of hearts he knows that he just took a chance there and just ran out of room. He'll probably feel that hasn't got too much to complain about. Passionate nation, disappointment on the faces of those people that have paid to come in this evening, and yeah, you can understand that, but the Danish team have done a terrific job to get themselves back into the thick of the action, and with 2 races to go, even without a pole in this race, it's still all to race for.
There is also the possibility, Kelvin, that if Denmark and Poland tie after 20 heats, we could have a run-off for the World Cup.
Yeah, and that would be extra dramatic, wouldn't it? That would be extra special with a heat 21.
Just thought I'd throw that one in, just to add a little bit of intrigue.
A little bit of extra spice. Certainly, it's perfectly possible. You know, we could see Woofenden and Doyle beating Kilderman here, and all of a sudden it would be just level pegging with heat 20 to come, and a shootout between Iversen and Kolodze, although I would fancy Iversen in heat 20 over Kolodze. Got to say that could well prove to be very nice for Denmark in heat 20. So yeah, plenty of permutations to go, but the Poles will be hoping that Woofenden and Doyle can do them a right favour and keep Peter Kilderman back in 3rd place.
Yeah, absolutely, and that is a distinct possibility, which would mean that it would be 36 points each going into heat 20 to decide the World Cup.
Iversen coming out of gate 2 in heat 20 with Kolodze off gate 1. Well, I've got to say that would favour, I would say on paper, Iversen would be the favourite to clinch the world title. By golly, that would be quite a finish for what has been a fantastic Speedway World Cup once again.
Couldn't script it, could you?
You
really?
can't script it. After the first 4 races, I think you wrote something at the top of your programme about it being all over.
No, are you making that up?
Did you spell it right? I think you've tried to scribble it out. Yeah,
Tipex.
It's still there though.
No, you're making that up.
All over after 4. Well, the Danes
just put me out to dry there.
Well, the Danes have proved us all wrong because they started emphatically well, and it did look like it was going to be all over. It was a walk in the park. But by golly, there's been some twists and turns since then.
Never writing anything on my programme ever again, but I'm going to show you anyway. Kellerman off the inside, Jason Doyle goes off gate 2 in blue, Ty Woffenden gate 3 in yellow, no rider off the outside, Piotr Protasevich disqualified. So it's all about now how many points Peter Kellerman in the red helmet colour can pick up here for Team Denmark. He's got the world champion up against him, and Woffenden made a good start in the original staging. So did Doyle, of course, who went wide, and that was the move from Doyle where Protasevich couldn't find any room around the outside. It's huge drama. It's all about this man now. Peter Kellerman for Denmark. The Danes can only watch on anxiously here. This is heat 19, penultimate race of the night. As long as he completes the race, he's guaranteed a point, which would mean we're level going into the last heat. But can Kellerman do better than that and give Denmark a cushion? Doyle's made a beauty. Jason Doyle has made the start wonderfully well. Woffenden now has gone high and wide in the dirt. Kellerman trying desperately, but Woffenden holds second place, and Woffenden is now going to hunt down Jason Doyle. But Doyle is having the night of his career here, riding wonderfully, wonderfully well. Doyle, Kellerman really going wheel to wheel with the world champion.
Was he ever? That could have ended in tears there. Kellerman was pushing really hard, rubbing up against the world champion as they completed the first lap. Doyle again, I agree entirely. Woffenden's gone very wide. Can Kellerman bounce? No, he can't quite. Woffenden just recovers in the nick of time. Out in front, Doyle, terrific once again. Kellerman back in 3rd place. Great Britain and Australia doing the poles a right favour here. It's just over a lap to go. Can Peter Kellerman find any way to get into 2nd place? Otherwise it's going to be all square going into heat 20.
We will not have a runoff for the World Cup title as it stands like this, because it's going to be a straight shootout in heat 20 between Niels Christian Iversen and Janis Kolodze. The Poles are celebrating the fact that Doyle and Woffenden have beaten Peter Kellerman there. As you say, they have done the Poles a right favour.
A right favour indeed, and the Poles are on their feet cheering Australia and Great Britain to keep Peter Kellerman back in 3rd place. Still sense with Iversen up against Kolodze in heat 20, it favours the Danes because Iversen is a proven performer at this level, and I just think he's going to have the edge. But wow, what a grandstand finish, and what a night of Speedway it has been for Jason Doyle. Outstanding for Australia.
4 wins for Jason Doyle. Absolutely brilliant, 13 points. Look at this going into the last heat. Poland, Denmark, Australia, Great Britain. And we can have a runoff, by the way, for a rostrum place as well for 2nd and 3rd. So, here we go. See it again, heat 19.
Yeah, Kellerman parks right up against the white line there, and the material must have been loose because the bike just spun up and he didn't get a run to the first corner. Doyle did, and that's where he stayed. As they complete the first lap here, watch Peter Kellerman here. Coming out of this corner, they come awfully close, and Kellerman's all over the inside of there. Look, bumping into the side. That could have ended in tears at the end of the first lap. Kellerman desperate to try and get himself into 2nd spot. But the world champion Woffenden remains strong. Look at that. That really was quite dramatic. And when you consider how fast they're going, see it again. Yeah, rubbing there the shoulder. Right arm a little bit out of shape.
Desperate move from Kellerman.
Yeah, desperate to get into 2nd place. Doyle rightly punches the air. He's done himself a lot of good tonight. Really has put himself on the map, on the international map, and congratulations to him. But yeah, we have got the World Championship on the line in heat 20, Nigel.
Well, Jason Doyle, for me there, has proved that he can mix it with the world's best. He's come of age. He's Australia's top man tonight, and 3 straight wins to round the night off. But we have to focus now on heat number 20, the biggest race in World Team Speedway this year, 2014. The world title on the line. Janis Kolodze off the inside in white for Team Poland. Niels Christian Iversen is alongside him, and they are level on 36 points apiece. Going down to heat number 20. Will it be heartache for the hosts? Will it be Danish delight? We're about to find out. There is a sensational atmosphere here. Giannis Kolodze, Niels Christian Iversen, Darcy Ward and Simon Stead.
And have the Poles got the right man in the race? They front-loaded these last 4 races. They used their big guns in heat 17 and 18, and Kolodze, possibly the weak link tonight. Don't want to be too hard on him because he started in fine style, but subsequently has found points much more difficult to come by. He's only scored 2 points in his last 3 outings. Niels Christian Iversen, got to say, on the other hand, has been in fine form. He's had a couple of second places and a win in his last 3 races, so it's, for me, it certainly favours the Danes here coming into heat 20, but Kolodze could surprise us all. Fingers crossed, I'm sure, from the Polish camp. What a grandstand finish this is.
Well, you can touch the tension here in Bydgoszcz tonight. This is brilliant stuff. Heat number 20, World Cup on the line. Here we go, and it's an even start, but that is a wonderful gate from Kolodze. And now Darcy Ward is going to try the outside line. Here comes Ward. Ward's got the lead. Now does that enable Iversen to reel in Kolodze now? But here comes Stead as well in third. Kolodze really having a go for the lead. But now Niels Christian Iversen is going to try the inside line for Denmark. Kolodze's got the speed.
Fantastic the start from Kolodze. I fancied he might struggle out of the inside gate, but he made a really good getaway with Iversen back in third place. Ward's come on fire late on in the meeting and charged to the front. Kolodze with just over 2 laps to go is there in second place. Iversen desperately trying to chase him down. Iversen now moving to the outside. Fantastic last race.
Iversen's going to try the inside switch. We're into the last lap here now. Iversen has got to calculate his move. He's going to go wide. He's going to try the inside switch down the back straight. It's going to go down to turns 3 and 4. The World Cup on the line. Kolodze holds it. Iversen round the outside. Niels Christian Iversen has won the World Cup for Denmark. I do not believe it. Right down to the line. It's heartache for the hosts and Danish delight for Niels Christian Iversen.
What a last corner, Iversen absolutely out of the top draw. He breaks the hearts. He breaks the Polish hearts on that run to the line. Ward finishes in style, but what a race for second place to clinch the world title for the Danes here in Poland. Absolutely out of the top draw. Dramatic heat number 20 from Niels Christian Iversen. Kolodze, got a feel for Kolodze because he rode a supreme effort. Celebration time for the Danish, and rightly so, because they were down and out after 4 races and they battled their way back in, inspired by Nicky Pedersen early on with the Joker paying dividends for them. But just possibly Kolodze running out of steam. Can't criticise him too hard. He rode a hell of a race there, but Niels Christian Iversen swooped round the outside in the last corner on the last lap and stole second place away to clinch the world title.
Pure sporting drama of the highest order here in Bydgoszcz tonight. He went right down to the finish line of the last heat of the Monster Energy FIM Speedway World Cup final, and Niels Christian Iversen is the hero for Denmark. That was spectacular. It looked as though Poland had done it with Kolodze, but Iversen calculated his move. Oh, and by the way, Darcy Ward won the race. Niels Christian Iversen was second. Giannis Kolodze was third, and just to confirm, the final score, Denmark 38, Poland 37, Australia 36, and Great Britain 16.
Well, what a wonderful night of Speedway we've witnessed here, and when you look at the scores there with Australia coming through in third place on 36 points, what a remarkable recovery from them. Got to say that it was a fantastic effort from Denmark, and for Denmark to win in Poland makes it even better. Not very often have the World Cup been won by anybody else in Poland, but apart from the host nation. But Kolodze rides a fantastic race. Just can't quite, for 3 3/4 laps, He doesn't put a wheel wrong here. Ward is supreme out in front, but this move by Niels Christian Iversen round that last corner, Kolodze rides the inside. He didn't know quite which way to go. It's the nature of this track. You've got to have eyes in the back of your head. Iversen was pushing hard throughout the 4 laps, and Kolodze with the run round the inside in the last corner just gives that extra bit of racing room, and Iversen is absolutely overjoyed. A win in Poland for the World Cup by the Danes is something very special indeed.
Wow, what a night. Pure sporting drama. The Poles can't believe it.
Yeah.
Absolutely heartbroken.
Interview.
In home territory as well.
It is. That's extra special for Denmark, Nigel, isn't it? When you consider how dominant the Poles have been in their own backyard. They've just
4 straight wins to start the night.
Exactly. It was all over after
All
4
over.
races. How wrong nut we were. But there's no question about it that the Danes have shown tremendous spirit.
Let's hear from Chris Holder, the Australian skipper, now with Jason.
Aussie skipper Chris Holder, so close, but not quite.
Yeah, just threw away too many points, and yeah, the track got rough and I got worse. And but we fought well. Doyle, if you've seen the state of him the last 2 days, he's gone out and just rode like a legend and kept us in it. And then, yeah, it was really close there at the end, but that's the way it goes, and we'll be back next year.
Well, you had to go the hard way. Do you think one extra meeting might have been a meeting too many?
No, not really. I don't think so. I think we rode really good. I think today is just for myself. When it got rough, I couldn't really hold on as good as I could earlier on. But like I said, Doyle was our man tonight. Did the awesome job and kept us in it. And the other boys exactly did their part too. So 3rd place, and there's only 2 points in it. So that's a fair effort from us.
Yeah, pushed them all the way. Well done, Chris.
Thanks.
Yeah, good work by Jason Doyle, as Chris Holder mentioned there. That's 4 wins for Doyle out of 5 heats. He did 6 in total. He got a 3rd in his first one, but wow, what a night. Absolutely brilliant. Shows what a fantastic sports speedway is. And let's now speak to Jarek Hampel with Jason Harold.
Jarek Hampel, a cruel way to lose the World Cup.
Yeah, what can I say right now? We was so close, but so far away in the end. We tried to do everything what we can, every single race. So it was very tight with the points till the end. So that was like something amazing. Always, it's pretty close with the Danish guys. This time they was a little bit better, and just I can say congrats for Danish guys because they made a good job, especially Niels in the end of the last turn.
Your own disappointment there masked by the congratulations for the Danes, but you were the only team who couldn't use a joker, so that went against you really.
Yeah, but we raced pretty good, so we don't need to put a joker. So after a middle of this meeting, we have everything pretty under control. But that's speedway. It's if you miss one race, then you are behind, and that's it.
Well, very philosophical, Jarek. Thank you.
Thank you.
Yep, Jarek Hampel, very philosophical, but there's a lot of heartache in the crowd here,
Well,
Kel.
they're heartbroken, aren't they? And you've got to say that they were so close, but they just couldn't quite seal the deal. So Niels Christian Iversen, the class there on that last corner was out of the top draw.
Let's hear from the hero, Niels Christian Iversen with Jason.
Winning captain Niels Christian Iversen, congratulations, big smile. It took, what, 3 3/4 laps?
Yeah, it was all or nothing in the end. I didn't believe I would catch him really because, yeah, he was having a good position all race, and yeah, I had to gamble in the end, and sort of managed to pick the right lines, and yeah, managed to get him.
The gamble obviously paid off because the start that you made wasn't the best we've seen you gate, I think, this season.
No, it was difficult from gate 2. I didn't really make it, but again, there is 4 laps on a race, and you got to make the most of it, don't you?
What does it mean to you? I know Hans Andersen has been here in the pits. What does it mean to your guys?
Yeah, we wanted to win this title. I've been in it for a long time now. We have a couple of seconds and a couple of thirds, and it doesn't really mean too much to get these other places. We want to win the world title, and yeah, it's awesome that we won it again.
Well, you have won it. Go to enjoy the celebrations. Congratulations.
Thank you.
Well, quite rightly, he's chuffed to bits, and it was a tremendous ride in the final, Nigel, wasn't it?
It was a great meeting.
Yeah, it was. Super meeting. World Cup finals quite generally are, but Australia got very close there with 36 points in the end, but just a solitary point, Denmark winning in a grandstand fashion in Heat 20.
Yeah, brilliant. What a night it was. Couldn't really get much tighter, could it? Really going down to the finish line. The overfunding trophy for Denmark, who are the World Cup winners here tonight. Pretty spectacular, because that's now the 4th time they've won it in the modern era of World Cup Speedway. This tournament revamped from the World Team Cup in 2001. So 4 times now Denmark have won it. It's quite a record.
Yeah, and it's a nice way to bounce back after the heartache they suffered last year by losing it by a solitary point in the Marketa Stadium in Prague. So, you know, a bit of revenge there for Denmark. But I do think it's extra special for Denmark to win it in Poland. And, you know, in previous years, Poland have been completely dominant in World Cup finals in their home country, but not so this evening. Great displays. Mats Cornelissen came up with a vital 2nd place when he really needed to. Struggled a little bit either side of that, but all credit to him. It was a tough night for him, but Kilderman played his part. Nicky Pedersen was certainly terrific mid-meeting when he came up with the big points at the vital times to get them right back into contention. But yeah, it's been a wonderful night of Speedway. Fantastic advert for International Speedway. The track here has also been, once again, a terrific bonus for us.
And now Anders Secker doesn't have to face any questions about his team selection. He got it spot on.
Huge sigh of relief, I think, because there would have been questions asked about his team selection if they hadn't have won this evening, but fair play to him. He'll be pretty pleased. The Australians, Ward, actually turned his night around in his last 2 rides, and if he could have got going a bit earlier on, Nigel, then the Ward and Australia would have been an awful lot closer, because they had got 36 points in the end, and they came out of nowhere to really hunt down the top 2. What a night. That is what Speedway at this level is all about. Thoroughly entertaining, keeps you on the edge of your seat, and at times we were really rather excited as well, which was great to see. Really enjoyed it, and the Danes can be immensely satisfied with this win. It's no easy task coming to Poland. It really is a challenge when you come to race in front of this crowd and this atmosphere in these conditions, and all credit to them. They've come up with the big performances when they needed it, and in no small part by Niels Christian Iversen in Heat 20 when Kolodze made him work awfully hard.
Bronze medal for the Australians, who have won this twice. It was the first 2 years of the Speedway World Cup under its current format. And, well, this really has been an awesome night of Speedway. Fantastic racing. Great Britain can be proud of the fact that they got to the World Cup final straight through from Kings Lynn last Saturday. They ultimately made up the numbers here tonight, but they can still feel proud of what's been achieved. But Australia came back well. They were well adrift at one stage and finished only a point behind Poland and 2 behind Denmark. Maybe 4 more heats, and you never know. They may just have pulled something pretty special off.
Yeah, when you look at their performances, Darcy Ward and Jason Doyle won 5 races at the back end of the meeting, and that's why they got so very close, only 2 points out of winning the event, which is remarkable when they looked like they were out of it throughout the large part of tonight's meeting. It was a great effort in the end. If Ward could have got going a little bit earlier, who knows what might have been the outcome. I'm sure the Australians' time will come. They're all in their 20s. They're still very young, this team. They've got a huge future, and you just know that if Holder can stay fit, and they will have a moment where they will pick up a gold medal.
And Jason Doyle, what a performance from him tonight. Absolutely spectacular. The Australians now about to receive their medals from Armando Castagna. As you say, Jason Doyle can feel very, very proud of his efforts. Troy Batchelor didn't quite go his way tonight, but Doyley there, absolutely brilliant.
Yeah, Doyle is the star man, described as a legend by the captain Holder, and yeah, you know, he got 3 wins on the spin at the back end of the meeting. Was terrific. Just had 1 blip in his 3rd ride where he failed to score, but as I say, when you look at the ages, they're all mid-20s, these boys from Australia, so they're going to have an opportunity to win the World Cup in the future. Never can race at home, of course, so they're always away, so that is also extra pressure on them. But yeah, that team, I'm sure sooner or later are going to pick up a gold medal.
Yeah, so pictures of the Australian side here. Cameron Woodward, of course, rode earlier in the tournament for them, as Chris Holder just wanted to get some practice under his belt before coming back into the side. Now we'll call up the silver medalist, Poland. Still plenty of Polish fans have stayed behind here to say well done to the Polish side for their efforts tonight.
What a night. Yeah. What a night. It was so close for Poland. Couldn't say if its exclusion probably cost them in the end, but got to say that the pressure on Janusz Konoje in Heat 20 was immense, and how he got away and how well he rode for such a long period of time in there. You've got to feel for him. He'll feel so disappointed. He'll feel like he just cost them the World Cup, and he really didn't, did he? He did make Iversen. It was an extra special performance from Iversen. Kasper Zak, he's accustomed to picking up, all these boys in actual fact are accustomed to picking up gold medals. They've got a massive collection of them. Protasevich, of course, getting excluded, but it's not to be this time. Silver, they'll have to come back next year and try and do it all again.
And we will, of course, have a Grand Prix in Denmark at Vojens in September. Sure, there'll be a great crowd for that with the world champions, with Niels Christian Iversen, a Grand Prix rider, of course, Nicky Pedersen, who rode his heart out tonight. Peter Killerman, I think, as well. We've seen a few stars emerge in the World Cup this year. Yep. Oliver Berntsson of Sweden, the boy Krutschmar of
Edward Krutschmar from
Czech Republic, Milik as well.
Sure, yeah, there's been some good riding, there's been some inspired performances, and Poland disappointed, of course, but they played their part. You know, when you get such a grandstand finish, then it can be one winner, but it's this team tonight, Denmark, absolutely terrific, winning in Poland. That is extra special for them.
Proud Speedway nation, Denmark. Hans Andersen on the podium as well. Played his part in Vastavik on Tuesday, as did Bjarne Pedersen, remember, on Tuesday night. Medals here for the Danish riders. The second team manager, congratulations to him. And we will see the Ovi Funding Trophy presented very soon as well. It's been a terrific Monster Energy Speedway World Cup, no doubt.
It has indeed, and it was such a fantastic, dramatic finish. It really will go down in the memory, live long in the memory, particularly those four men out there. They'll be immensely proud. Pedersen was so fast tonight. That was a return to form for him at this level, and he'll be pleased with that. And Mats Corneliusson, he'll feel immensely proud to be part of a World Cup winning team. That's a major bonus for him, and all credit, that second place was terrific in the middle part of the meeting.
Right now we're gonna see the trophy.
It's the presentation of the Ovi Funding Trophy by Ovi Funding. Great to see him here, Kel.
Yeah, terrific, still in good health. He was a terrific rider, and I know he loves his speedway. Loves being in the thick of it down there in the paddock, just absorbing all the atmosphere, watching the boys really go through their stuff. And huge respect between riders, of course. He knows what it's all about. It might be several generations ago, but he knows what it means to be world champion, that's for sure.
Well done to Denmark, 2014 Monster Energy FIM Speedway World Cup winners.
Nickiego Pedersena, Petera Kildemanda, Matsa Corneliussena i Nielsa Christiana
Yeah, great scenes these are. These pictures are going to be now sent around the world. Terrific smiles, rightly so. We should have some champagne moments coming very shortly, but yeah, that has been a fantastic effort from those four boys this evening. Anders Secker certainly played his part. Touch of relief. I fancied that man on the side of him there, Hans Andersen, would have had a very good chance to ride this evening, but it was Corneliusson there with the beard who came in, picks up a gold medal. Fair play to him.
good voice.
Yeah, not sure they'll get to X Factor, but
the engines were more in tune than the voices there. But anyway,
I don't think they'll worry about that too much, do you? I think they'll be quite pleased with their work this evening, and this is terrific. But Mats Corneliusson, this is a major bonus for him, wouldn't you think? World Cup winner, Nigel. World Cup winner in Poland.
Nothing can ever take that away from him.
No, mate, it's in history now. Absolutely, his name's in there, and he'll relive this for many a time. Iversen and Nicky Pedersen, of course, they've had plenty of occasions when they've won it. Peter Kilderman, first time he's tasted a gold medal, and there's a big future for Peter Kilderman. He's going to be around for a while. He'll be a Grand Prix rider soon, definitely. But yeah, what a night of Speedway. You reflect on the night, it has been extra special.
Champagne moment then for Denmark. We congratulate Denmark on their victory here tonight, and we look forward to Riga and the resumption of the Grand Prix. Looking forward to that, but first of all, Kelvin, your thoughts on the World Cup?
Extra special. It's been a wonderful week of Speedway. Right from the get-go in Kings Lynn, we saw a brilliant performance from Team GB. It's culminated in one of the best World Cup finals we've ever witnessed, with dramatic scenes in Heat 20. It's been a wonderful advert for Grand Prix, for World Championship Speedway. Yeah, delighted, thoroughly enjoyed it.
Thanks, Kelvin. Enjoyed working with you over the last week. Kelvin Tatum, the former England World Cup winning skipper here in Bydgoszcz tonight. It's been a wonderful, wonderful week of World Cup Speedway, and well, we look forward to you joining us for the Latvian GP in Riga in a couple of weeks' time. And Niels Christian Iversen and Nicky Pedersen will go to that in great art. From Kelvin Tatum and me, Nigel Pearson, thanks for your company over the last week. We'll see you in a fortnight for the Latvian Grand Prix. The Monster Energy FIM Speedway World Cup final was nicely poised on a hot, baking sunny night in Bydgoszcz, Poland. Could anybody stop the host nation from lifting the OV Funding Trophy for a second successive season? Team Great Britain won through from Kings Lynn, event number 1. Poland seeded directly through to the final as the host nation. And it was Denmark who won event 2 to qualify, with Australia winning the race off. And it was a dream start as far as the Polish side were concerned. Drama in Heat 1, but Poland reeled off 4 straight wins, 12 points out of a possible 12, and they laid a marker down. And no doubt there were fears amongst the other competing nations that it could be a night of Polish domination. Australia scrapped hard, but Nicky Pedersen and his Danish side with Niels Christian Iversen dug deep, and Anders Sekker's men worked hard to get themselves right back in the frame. Nicky Pedersen with a fantastic ride to lead the way for Team Denmark to get them right back in it. And Nicky showing all the appetite that we know he has with a 6-point tactical ride. The action was fast and furious, as slowly but surely Denmark chipped away. Jason Doyle, the star of the show as far as Australia were concerned. Great Britain finding life tough, including the current world individual champion, Ty Wolfinder. But Denmark were able to take the lead and put huge pressure on Marek Cieślak and his Polish side going to the final 4 heats. And then there was huge drama when Piotr Protasevich of Poland was disqualified as he crashed out late on, and that gifted points for the Danish side. But going into the final race of the night, it was all level. It was a straight shootout after that incident involving Protasevich. White disqualification light, and going into the last heat, it went down to the very last moment to the finish line. Niels Christian Iversen wins the Monster Energy FIM Speedway World Cup for Denmark.
Speedway World Cup.